birds flying high. You know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Yeah.
Turn on your mind now, tune into the feed. We're planting digital flowers from a single tiny seed. Yeah, power to the collective in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice and control.
You're mad. Mad at me because I don't trust you. Are you out of your mind? You lied. You betrayed. You manipulated. And now you've got the audacity to act like I'm the problem? I'm supposed to forget all that? Hand my trust back like some naive fool? No way.
And here we go.
Welcome to the freak show, the best in town.
What is going on, Hive? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Make sure my audio's coming in loud and clear. I'm so excited for tonight. I am so excited for tonight. It has been longer than normal since Devil's Advocates and I talked, and we usually go off the cuff, but we only go about a week in between. So I know that the fact that this man went out to New York City for the first time, we're going to have some great stories and also a lot of insight too. I know he was out there, for business. He's looking into the Long Island serial killer case. So I'm very excited to hear about that. But as you all know, with DA, these nights, he allows himself one night a week to come into the Hive, get a little bit nuts, have a little bit of cock swagger, as he would say. And he comes in here and he lets it loose. And I'm just grateful that he gives us one night a week. So we're going to be getting into his New York trip, amongst other things. A couple of headlines that I wanted to get his thoughts on as well this evening. But the Hive has been on an absolute roll. So to everybody that has been tuning in, everybody that's pressing like, pressing subscribe, I just want to start this stream by saying thank you. The last week has been some of the best numbers that the Hive has ever seen, right? So we're not chasing clicks. We know, though, that there's an algorithm game that we have to play. It's free to like it. It's free to subscribe to it. And that's all that I ask. So I'm never going to charge anybody for a stream, especially these, 7 p.m. ones. But last night was epic. We had Pav in the chat. We had Lana on screen. I think True Crime Design was in here. We had Sherlock. We had a ton of people. Devil's Advocates stopped in. Sammy T. So it's great to see everybody coming together and rallying around this Idaho 4 case being the vehicle of truth, right? That's ultimately what it is. That's what we're all bonding over. It's not just figuring out a mystery. That's a big part of it. But what I think it really is we all have the ability to come into this chat every night at 7 p.m. Central and say and speak your mind. Bounce ideas off each other. Shoot the shit, shoot the breeze. We can do whatever we want in here, right? The mods are amazing. And I just want to make sure that I just want to let you know it doesn't go unnoticed. I'm extremely grateful that everybody tunes in, but I just want to give a shout out to all of us, right? It's been a long road starting back over on TikTok, getting over onto YouTube, and it's really, really amazing to see how and what this has turned into. So thank you guys for that. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say what's up to everybody. We got Deborah Lynn, UK Karen. Elizabeth says, I think of that like button as the doorbell to the Hive. I press it and I'm in. So cool. Maybe, yes, that's hilarious. We should start calling the like button the doorbell. I like it. Tracy from Bama, Rayanne, growth renewal. True to it. Yep. Don't forget Phoenix as well. Obviously, I would not be here, without Phoenix over on TikTok. That was my OG over on the Talk Tick. What's up, Wolfpack? Samantha, Krista, UFO Dog, Uma, 1-1. April seeks justice. Elizabeth. Susie Q. Gary King says some tig old biddies. And if you're new here, I promise you I'm not just reading comments that say tig old biddies. There's an inside joke behind that. I see DA laughing backstage on it. Same thing with Cockswagger. It's actually a new scent of an Old Spice deodorant that DA invented right here in the Hive. What's up, Sherlock? Good to see you. Paisley's Posts, Noel, Jennifer Henry, Marty Kuhn, AA, ASMR. For some reason, your username reminds me of that Key and Peele skit where he's a substitute teacher. And he's like, Aaron. Like, that's what I just had. That's what my brain was telling me in my mind before I said that out loud. Dina, good to see you. JJ UK. Tom, Dana, how are you doing? 11:11. Oh, it just flew by. Steph. LA Mike. Oh, sorry about the Mariners, DA. I thought we might lose you. It's okay. He's got the Hive to pick him on up. He's just got to get right back on the horse. Carol H. Bailey. It's Andrea. I shits you not. Says Cockswagger and Boomer. Isn't it weird? And I'm joking when I say this, but I told DA about the Key West boomerang, and he kind of came off like he knew what it was. So I had to ask him, I'm like, wait, have you heard of that? I had never heard of that. But that was an epic live last night. So nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring DA up right away. Oh, where is he? There he is. What's up, DA? How you doing, man?
What's going on?
You're back. You made it home in one piece.
Yeah, I went to New York, a boy, and I came back an effing man. I'll tell you that much. I did a lot there.
You were there for how long?
5 days on the road, and then a travel day both ways. So it was a week, but 5 days in New York.
I love the comments right when I put you up on screen, what people are saying. Just don't read them.
You don't want to know what they're saying.
Yeah. What's funny is on Monday, I was like, wait, does anybody notice like who's missing? And I had forgotten myself that this was the week because I popped onto your live on like Saturday for like 10, 15 minutes or whatever randomly. Right.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
but I was like, oh shit, that's this week. So I'm glad that we were able to bump it back to today because I'm excited to catch up about it. Can you, to kind of just jump right into it, for people that don't know, what got you out to New York?
I mean, New York was always on my bucket list. I wanted to go to New York. I've never been there. I don't even know since being a child if I've ever been on the East Coast. So it was on my bucket list. And then, I have a 1-1 who's in your chat as well tonight. He's an NYPD guy. And I was like, man, I should go out there, meet that guy, check into the Long Island serial killer case because he lives nearby the house of Rex Heuermann. Check out Luigi Mangioni's site and just make it a trip and call it a business trip and put boots on the ground. So that's kind of how it fomented. I'm not making great money by any stretch of the imagination in YouTube, but I made enough to be able to cover that along with some mileage that we had saved up on air flights from before. So using some of my own miles and a few bucks from the gracious subscribers and stuff, I got to take my trip to New York and it was amazing. Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
That's awesome. I've never been out there.
Really?
No.
I was stone cold scared shitless walking into New York, and I had to take. There was a lot of brave moments in my life, and I did shit. I'm telling you, I'm not kidding, man. I went in a boy, I came out a man. I did shit I didn't even think I was capable of doing. I came out there with cockswagger, like full on cockswagger. I'm like, yeah, bitch. I just
did you cross the street without the crosswalk signal?
I totally right in front of cops too. Right in front of cops. There was two NYPD God. And I just jaywalked right in front of their ass. I'm like, I'm going. I don't care. I'm going. Write me a citation.
Dude, for some reason, I don't know why, but this just popped into my head. I could see this absolutely being you in New York City. Let me just pull this up real quick.
This is going to be good.
This
is going to be priceless.
I hope that this loads quickly.
The anticipation's already killing me.
Yeah, well, I didn't plan on pulling this up, but if anything, I could absolutely see this being you in New York. Let me here Here we go.
Oh shit.
I have to mute it so that we don't get the copyright.
Oh
but
yeah.
you guys can picture this is here we go. This is Devil's Advocates. This is live footage of him in New York City for the first time. He starts off by that's funny. But anyways, man, on a real note, it was a good time.
It was a fantastic time. Yeah, it was fantastic. And I literally, I rode an e-bike. I rode an e-bike in downtown Manhattan, and I literally pulled out in front of a taxi on 4 lanes of traffic and I was keeping up in the middle of traffic, in the middle of Manhattan, in like the inner lane, weaving between cars, dodging. Trucks are opening their door, and I'm swinging to the left into the taxi, and I'm swinging to the right, and I'm like, oh yeah. Like I was the shit. It was like, I couldn't believe I was doing it. It was crazy.
Have you ever seen, like, speaking of like movies and stuff, like the intro to a movie, you're like speeding down the Manhattan Main Street on an e-bike, and it's like a drone shot, 90s music's going, and it's like, it's all hype. It's like, yep, that's me. And then like a truck door opens, and then it goes boom, and then it stops and it cuts to what you need. That's funny.
I did dump the bike twice. I did dump the bike twice. So that,
I was telling
and
people,
I stole it, but yeah.
Well, so that's why I have the thumbnail. I stole it, and there's a good chance that you are on the run. You're a fugitive in Manhattan, you fled, and now you're across the country. They're going to use IgG. They're going to test that handlebar for something.
Yeah, one's got my fingerprints and my DNA all over weapons in New York, so I'm going to get at a scene somewhere in America pretty soon.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, but I was telling people on Monday that I called you. And you were like, the wind is gushing by your ears. You're like, I gotta pull over. And then I just hear, fuck. Then I hear a loud, like somebody honks at you.
That was straight up true. I
know.
I took the call, like dumped the bike, trying to talk to you. I'm hitting the brakes one-handed, and a truck's like, you fucking tourists, get out of the road. And that was me. It was amazing. I'm so proud of myself.
Is the honking and like the cussing out there like what the movies make it seem like?
The honking, yes. There was not a lot. I swore more than any New Yorker there. And in fact, if we play that little video I've got for you, there's probably more. I swore more than New Yorkers. I did have one New Yorker cuss me out, and she used quite a few F-bombs. That was awesome.
But did you say she was a homeless lady?
Yeah, I think so. It was homeless or drugs, but she was straight up chewing me out, and I'm like, I have made it. I'm in New York, and someone's calling me a mother effer, and they're I'm talking to you. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was a great moment. It was a great moment. I felt made it complete.
You really did, and God damn it, Detective Mowry, you son of a bitch. I can't ignore this. I just can't ignore this. You son of a bitch. What's wrong with you, Detective Mowry?
him and your mom.
And my wife goes, Detective, you never fail to make me puke a little bit in my mouth.
Wow.
I could just picture Detective Mowry sitting behind his phone like now, like I'm gonna get him,
oh my God. No, yeah, it was great.
I got that video pulled up, or I got the video ready to go. So you want me to play that?
Well, I want to do a little bit of an intro on the video a bit. So first of all, I do want to say this. I want to do a personal bitch. I've done this bitch more than once, but I want to do a personal bitch. I cover Luigi Mangione, and I cover the Long Island serial killer case. In this case, I was out in New York for both of those cases. And literally drama broke out on my server on Discord. And I had people, my mods saying, hey, we had to ban a couple people from your Discord channel. I hope you're okay with that. And I'm like, well, what's going on? And they're like, well, somebody was shitting all over you because a new document just dropped in Luigi Mangione's case. And they're saying, obviously, DA doesn't give a shit about this case, so he's not covering it. And I was at the time literally standing on the spot where Brian Thompson was shot by Luigi Mangione, allegedly. And I'm like, I'm standing in New York on the spot he was shot. And you tell me I don't give a shit about the case? I want to come over there and I'm going to use electric toys on your mom.
No.
But anyway. So I mean, the point being is I was so pissed. Oh
my God, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's amazing.
I was angry, but so let me break down a couple things real quick before you play the video, because there's a part in the video where I mentioned my get out of jail free card, and I want to talk about that real quick. So as I told you, 1-1 who's in the, and I'll be careful 1-1 in case you're terrified right now. 1-1 is NYPD. It does not represent NYPD when he's on my show or on your show, whatever. And so we don't talk about his real name, or we don't talk about anything like that. But he's a friend of the show. He believes in what I do with the presumption of innocence and the whole, civil rights and all that stuff and protection of people's, presumption of innocence. And so there was a moment late in the trip after we had met and we spent the day together. He said, I got to give you a gift and I don't want to forget. So he gives me this gift, and the gift I could tell meant more than I understood. Like I took the gift and I'm like, this means a lot. Like, what are you talking? And so I had to look it up, and I want to show it to you and explain to you just a little bit. It's going to come up. I don't know if you see this, but and I don't know if the camera's going to focus good on it. This is
hold it a little bit closer. It's a little smaller.
But see the camera's not. Yeah, and it's a
coin.
It's what is called a challenge coin. It is extremely beautiful. Is
that heavy? Is it metal? It's real metal.
Super heavy. Yeah, super heavy. Very high stuff, and it's from the 76 or the 7.6 as they say in New York. I bust his balls about this because he says the 7.6. I'm like, is it 76 or the 7.6? He's like, well, it's 76, but we call it 7.6. I'm like, fucking New Yorkers. Why you got to do the 7.6 instead of 70? The point being is that the coin represents basically a form of acceptance with law enforcement, that you're a friend of law enforcement. Police officers give these kind of coins out to say that they recognize you as a friend of the department and whatever. It has a history from the military, and law enforcement picked it up. Really sentimental thing, and I thought it was the most amazing thing. He also gave me this, which I can't show the back of it, which is a card from the Lieutenant's Benevolent Association, which basically has his name, his badge number, his phone on it. And it's kind of like, now I gotta be careful, it's kind of like a get out of jail free card. If you get pulled over by a cop and you're like, hey, I'm buddies with this guy. It's like saying you're family of a cop, and they kind of like, oh, you know what, this guy, he's on the legit. So if he's on the bubble, we'll just kind of let it go. He's like a family member. So it was super beautiful, super touching. And there's a moment in this long video where I talk about, well, at least I got a get out of jail free card. Didn't have to use it, even though I stole a bike in New York. And real quick, I just want to explain. I think what happened was, when you see this video, is I didn't know how to use an e-bike. I wanted to have the experience of Luigi Mangione on an e-bike going from the hostel. So I did go to the hostel where Luigi Mangione was staying, and I rode an e-bike back to Central Park. I wanted to know what that experience was like, and so I did that. But I'd never ridden an e-bike before. And so I expected them to be like e-bike assistants. You'd get pedaling assistance. That didn't happen. That's because I was stealing the bike. When I finally figured that out, it's a pretty good moment. So go ahead and roll it. I think that's enough setup to at least kind of get it. And hopefully you have audio on it.
Yep. Okay. Let me know if you can hear it.
God dang it, man. It's just sitting here spinning and spinning and spinning. Sorry, there seems to be a problem connecting to our servers. Please try again.
This is exactly how I thought the video would start.
Okay, scan to unlock. So the barcode recognized the bike. It told me then to scan the code again to unlock the bike, and it's spinning and spinning and spinning again. This is fucking a nightmare. Bike not available. After all of that, it said bike not available. Fuck it, I'm just walking. This is ridiculous. And it shouldn't be that hard to find a bike. Like, people are coming and going. How come I'm the retard? I thought I was a fairly smart guy, but I can't apparently fucking rent a bike.
Our line should be better. Central Park's on my right over here.
I'm just walking. There's a guy on a scooter that just walked by mocking me. He's like, I'm on a scooter, bitch. You could have rented a scooter, bitch.
This is exactly what I think your internal...
Unlocking. I walked away from the bike, and now it's unlocking the bike. I just fucking... Are you kidding
my phone,
me? Now I gotta
my
go
phone
back to
tells
the
me
bike.
it's unlocked the bike.
That's not right.
This is where I fucked up. I
And
think
it's got
I
a
grabbed the
timer
wrong
going.
bike. It unlocked the bike, but I grabbed somebody else's bike.
So now I don't even know which one it was. This one that's lit up? Fuck me. This one that's green.
Hey, God, I have to pause this and just say, okay, you're by yourself right now. Is this not your internal dialogue just said out loud?
No,
this certainly seems like...
I'm on the phone with Mrs. DA, right? I'm on the phone with Rhonda. So she is in my ear, and I'm narrating for her, but also for the camera at the same time. So she's talking to me. At times I'm talking to her. At times I'm talking to the camera. So
I thought I was a smart guy. There's a guy on a scooter mocking me.
I got a bike. Yeah.
I'm pedaling like a motherfucker right here.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta learn how to ride a bike again.
Almost took
say
that
you're-
guy out.
You're looking a little wobbly.
Oh my God, I thought this was supposed to be electronic assisted. Okay. All right.
Notice the big red zero.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, don't ride this bike. I'm riding the bus.
69. If you don't realize how stupid I feel right now, am I supposed to stop for all the stop signs, stop lights? I'm supposed to follow traffic rules, right? Nope.
Look at that
I'm
guy.
gonna follow that guy's lead. He just fucking blew right past the light, like a fucking rebel. The bike? What do you mean? Out of breath?
My wife's picking on
Oh,
me.
the
'cause I'm out of
signal?
breath.
Did your wife ask you like, why are you out of breath? You're like, what?
Yeah,
I'm out of breath.
She's like, why you out of breath? I'm like, what? Out of breath? Like, bitch, I'm pedaling this bitch.
Yeah.
She's like, it's an E-assisted bike. I'm like, no, it's not an E-assisted bike.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Where am I? Oh fuck!
Oh my God.
I lost something out of my pocket.
Wow. I just lost.
I'm sorry to keep pausing it. DA, there's sometimes when I'm up like super late at night and I'm just like doom scrolling on TikTok or X, I see these videos of people that put GoPros on their cats that are outdoor cats.
Yes,
That's what
I've
I feel
seen
like
that.
I'm watching right now. I'm watching you with the GoPro attached to you, and I'm just witnessing
That's
your
a
day.
Fact.
This is amazing. This is epic.
90 miles an hour, because that's how fast I was pedaling. I just lost my bikes, some of my gear fell out of my pocket. That's okay. There's a basket on this bike. So now I'm putting shit in my basket, and if I fall, I lose everything, but I have to fall instead of just having it fall out of my pockets.
You are out of breath.
How's that?
I am. Thank you for pointing that out. Look at all the shit rattling
That
around.
guy
in the
has
basket.
e-bike assistance because he just flew past me, and I know he's not pedaling, so it's not that he's just some badass. Wouldn't that be funny? I mean, it is an e-bike. It's literally got a charge on it, so why does it feel like I have to do everything myself? You know what? I don't read instructions. This is why I'm pedaling my ass. I don't see a button. I'm gonna be pissed.
My wife's saying,
I'm
isn't there some kind of a button for a pedal assist? I'm like, there's no button for a pedal assist. I'm like, I'm looking all over the bike trying to find my pedal assist button.
Dude, you and I like we've said many times, we would be really good friends if we went to high
For
school or
sure.
college together. We'd probably be in jail type shit. But
Yeah,
I can picture Mrs. Birdie's voice in my head, and I would be saying the same thing as you are. We're just like, yeah, I'm pedaling. There's supposed to be an e-assist. I don't know. There's not a button. I don't know. Like, that's exact. I don't read directions. What are you talking about?
Right? I'm on a bike. I don't have time to read directions.
I look at the picture on the box and I figure it out.
It's out because people are like, oh my God, that dumbass. He rode an e-bike by pedaling. Pedal assist. Hey, that's my bell.
The basket's for
Pedal
my
assist, huh? Wouldn't that be cool? Luigi Mangione apparently had a bad back, so he would have used pedal assist. Okay, maybe it is. If it's just a pedal thing and an assist, then my mistaking my masculinity is probably actually helping me out. I'm like, yeah, I got this bitch, I don't need help. And then the bike would be like, old man, I have been helping you for the last 25 minutes. There was a bus trying to come over right where I was at, and I was cock blocking them. 185th. God damn it. Just lost my hat in the wind.
Oh my God.
There's my
This is
hat on the
amazing.
Seattle Mariners got
Reliving
dethroned.
this is beautiful.
Oh, by the way, the Mariners lost game 6, so it's a tie game, game 7 for it all.
Now, this is where the alarm's going to go off when I hit a really hard pothole, so I thought it was just damaged
Okay,
bike.
we're going back out to the main road now.
I'm hooking it. I'm going downhill like that motherfucker.
Look at your arms shaking.
I said, ooh! I hit a pothole. There's the alarm.
There's an alarm going off on my bike. I don't know. No, it's not my bike. It's not my bike.
I thought it was one of these cars. At first I thought, is that my bike? I'm like, no, it's one of these cars. But it kept following me everywhere I went.
I gotta figure that out, right? I guess I'll stop. Inspect bike before scanning. Okay. I suppose it wants me to scan the bike now to turn this alarm on. I don't know what to do with this bike. It's constantly making noise. It's letting me ride it, but it's constantly alarming.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit around me.
Finally.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, you're right. It's very normal, it seems like.
Yeah.
They're not even phased.
I'm at 88.
I'm straight up stealing a bike, and they're like, yeah.
Oh, and now it's locking the bike on me.
Now
It's locking
it's just
the bike
locking
on me.
down. I can't
Okay,
pedal
hold
for
on.
shit.
I think. Either that, it's just the E. Yep, no, it's locking the bike on it. Okay. It thinks I'm stealing the bike. I'm sitting on 88th trying to figure out why I can't move my fucking bike. Done riding? No, I'm not done riding, bitch. Okay.
I was talking to the app, not my wife.
I'm just gonna try to
Yeah,
go
you were
and
talking
see
to
what
the
locks
app.
up on me. I can't even get moving because there's bikes that are. Oh my God, Rhonda. Yes, but now I have e-assistance. The entire time, all of a sudden I start pedaling and I'm like, oh my God, it's pedaling for me. It wasn't doing that for the last fucking half hour, so apparently I stole the bike and now I'm getting assistance. So, fortunately, I might have a get out of jail free card in my pocket, but well.
That rattle gives me anxiety.
That's it, man. That's my adventure.
That's hilarious, dude.
I just wanted to when I say I stole a bike in New York, rode it to the precinct in Central Park. That was not an exaggeration. I flat out did that. Stole the bike, rode it right to the police station.
Yeah.
And eventually got it worked out.
So can I ask this?
Yeah.
What were you did you have some free time and you just wanted to do it? Or what was
No,
it
was part of my original plan to go see the hostel where Luigi allegedly stayed before the shooting. And so day one, when I went down to New York, I went to the Hilton where the shooting was at, walked through Central Park, and then spent the day at the Natural Museum of History and so like that, and just never went on to the hostel. And then I was not going to go back. Later that night, I was down at Times Square, took some amazing 4K footage, by the way, of Times Square that I'll share later. But anyway, so I decided to go home and I was just exhausted. And then on my last day, I was like, man, I got one more day in New York. I think I'm going to go down. I think I'm going to try to hit that hostel. And my wife's like, get an e-bike. And I'm like, I don't want to get an e-bike. I've never been on an e-bike. I don't even know how to ride on these streets. I wish you would have seen me, man. I was on the streets of New York, downtown Manhattan, flying around through traffic like a freaking boss. Felt like $1 million. But anyways, it was a long ride from the hostel back to the shooting scene. I'll tell you that much.
So when you went to thank you for sharing that video. That was comedy gold. And you probably didn't even know what you had at that point. You know,
I did. Yeah.
But
I thought it might play well, but
it's just like, dude. So when you went to the location where he was shot, was there what?
Robin's like, they're rattling because he put his stuff in the metal basket in the front. Yeah, like, hey, there's a basket here. It's all like, everything's ready to fly out on me.
I mean, dude, like you really like Luna was like cussing up a storm the whole time, losing pieces of clothing, losing pieces of gear. Like,
yeah, I did hit a bump and all my phone, my battery pack, everything ended up on the street because I don't think the basket's actually meant for carrying your shit.
If there's ever been like real life proof that who you are on camera is who you are off camera. That was it.
That was it. That's what I'm
That
trying to
was it.
say. I'm trying to say
Yeah.
this is, I'm not exaggerating the stories. That's how I am every day of my life.
So when you went to the spot where dude got shot,
Yeah.
is there like a memorial or is there anything there? Or
No. And in fact, I was kind of, to be fair, I was a little terrified to miss the spot too, because on the first day when I went down there, the Hilton takes up an entire city block basically, right? And so I was on like 55th, but there's also the 56th side of the same building. And so I was on the 55th, and I remember watching the videos of the shooting, and I'm like, this is exactly where it's at. Here's the awning. Here's where Brian Thompson walked underneath. I found the alleyway where I think that, Luigi or the shooter would have cut between where the bike would have been. I walked that whole thing. And then when I was walking and I was getting assistance from another person on the phone, and they're like, you're walking further and further away from Central Park. I thought he rode into Central Park. And I'm like, yeah. So then we figured out logistically I was heading the wrong way, and I think I might have been on the wrong side of the Hilton, which is another reason why I went back down the second day. I'm like, I'm going to go on the right side of the Hilton and find the right path that he walked through and heading towards Central Park. So I had to do it twice. The first day I wasn't technically literally on the same spot because I think I was on the opposite side of the building, and I didn't figure that out until the next day. But
did you feel any like
but there's no
energy there?
memorial.
Any,
That's funny
like,
that you
energy?
mentioned. It's funny you mentioned that. I had somebody else say that. Like, what's the energy? Do you feel? Do you believe in that kind of stuff? It was super peaceful to me. Like, I don't know if that makes it sound creepy, but there was no weird energy. I felt super at peace. Everything was just very calm. People were calm. There was no bad vibes or mojo there. So if you believe in that kind of stuff, the energy was good. I felt great. So anyways,
Not Lamy Jamie, thank you for the super chat. Says you should add a disclaimer. You should add a disclaimer before that video. You probably should have.
Go to the bathroom first.
Yeah, go to the bathroom. Don't try this at home. Like can't be held liable. Things like that.
Right. Yeah. Kids don't steal an e-bike like this.
I did see someone say like, we need to raise money to just send you to places just to go record yourself with a cat cam. That's what we need. Right. Let's put DA in the most let's go put you in the most uncomfortable places in the best way. Like you can, not just in America, we're going to send you all over the country. We'll send you to like Somalia or like somewhere like that. You go investigate pirates. Next thing you know, DA's on a dinghy trying to take down a container ship.
I'm down. I would do it. That's a whole show by itself.
DA's on a cartel boat coming across, and then you just hear this drone strike coming now. It's just like I feel like you would be good at it though. On a real note, I feel like you would be good boots on the ground.
And my wife just apparently, I think my wife just chimed in, unless it's a different Rhonda, but I think that's my wife just chimed in that thing. She's literally, that was hilarious listening to Riding the Bike Without Paying for it. Yeah, she was on the phone listening to that shit, and it was a moment. I tell you, it was funny shit.
Would you go to Key West for the boomerangs?
It sounds entertaining, I'm telling you.
Okay, so here's a place. Since we're on that topic, if you had to pick somewhere outside of like the mainland of the U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska, where are you going to go to investigate something, or where would you want to see and experience?
Oh my gosh, outside of the U.S., I mean, Egypt would be amazing. Israel would be amazing. That's like way out of the U.S. But yeah, Mexico wouldn't be too bad. I would, but that's kind of close to our neighborhood. But I'd go anywhere, man. I'd go anywhere. Yeah. I don't care about carrying the camera around, but
one of the things, if Mrs. Birdie's in the chat, she's going to roll her eyes so hard because I was talking about like, you know how people do like baby moons, right? Where you kind of go, I don't know if that was a thing, but it seems to be a thing now where you take like a trip where it's more of, it's because your wife's pregnant, right? I'm like, how do you feel about doing like a tour of the Pacific and what the Marines did? You want to go to like Iwo, go to Okinawa, maybe we go to Normandy over and
storm the beach.
Yeah, see that? She was like, no, not at all. But I think stuff like that, like that's how I would probably answer it. And oddly enough, too, I have always, since I've been a little kid, and my dad used to do this Santa tracker. Like, I don't know if that was around when you were a kid, but there's this thing. It's like, or my dad used to do this thing. It was like NORAD. You could like track where Santa was, and it would play these. It would play like these animated videos of where his sleigh was over as a kid. And my favorite scene was when he was over the Taj Mahal. And I've even into my adult years, I've been like, I would always just from a childhood memory, and obviously I've lost I would just love to go see like the Taj Mahal. I know it's over in like Russia and stuff, but I would just, that place looks incredible. It's just the architecture, the colors and all that. I'm a big nerd for like old world architecture too.
Yeah. Yeah. That is
Rome,
cool.
Italy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Spain, even for sure.
Have you been across the pond?
Greece would be made.
Greece, yeah.
No, I haven't. I haven't been
either.
across. Yeah, I've never been outside of really this continent. So
People are going, no, Birdie, don't go see the Taj Mahal. I come back in a funny hat, and
I almost went to Egypt, by the way. I was this close to going to Egypt, but everybody else backed out because it was too expensive. But I'm big into the solar eclipse, and I traveled to the solar eclipse. I went to the last 2 solar eclipses, and we found out that they were going to have the solar eclipse was going to be in Egypt. You could be at the solar eclipse at the pyramids. I'm like, we have to do this on the Nile. This will be the most amazing experience, life-changing, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's like, yeah, that's too much money. I'm not going. And it was ridiculous amounts of money. So
where was that?
In Egypt.
Wait,
we're going to
wait.
What?
Hang on. There's no way. Taj Mahal is India?
Yeah.
Why the hell did I just say Russia? I can't admit this on stream.
It's too late.
I can't admit this on stream. Oh my God, dude. Well, they look similar, right? To some Russian buildings, maybe?
Maybe.
Holy hell.
You're thinking the Kremlin looks like the Taj Mahal? Maybe.
My whole life's been a lie.
I did. Yeah, I know what that's.
How did
like,
I just not even learn that in general? I think it's just like I've literally just assumed it. I've never looked into it. Jesus H. I'm embarrassed. I'm flush red.
Nothing like doing it on live TV. That's the best part.
I go, I can't admit to this. And somebody just goes, it was just a very simple, genuine comment.
See, Robin's letting you out. She's like, they look similar.
Okay.
So yeah.
Thank you. Somebody had just said Taj Mahal's in Russia. Why?
It's
a childhood memory I've cherished my whole life, and it's a lie.
Yeah, and you probably thought somebody was your uncle too, but he really wasn't your uncle. So. You said it was my uncle.
Yeah. Oh my God. Whew. That's funny, man. That's funny. I think Spain. So when it was, you know how work trips, I think I've told you this, but you know how work, if you're in sales, they'll do company trips if you hit your number, president's trips and stuff. Mm-hmm. So one year I made whatever, like a top performer enough. And this trip was in Barcelona, and I was stoked. And I had signed up for this excursion to go to their soccer stadium, get like the full tour of the soccer stadium. I had all this stuff planned. And as a company, they let you pick days where you can go and do those, or you can just chill at the resort. I was by myself. I was single. I was going alone. So I filled up every day. You know, I had so much shit planned, dude. Well, COVID hit and they canceled it, and they said, don't worry. You know, we're going to give you guys a bonus that's in place of the trip. Dude, what I got after taxes, I was like, there's no way that where we were going to stay, all the stuff we were going to do, all the airfare, there's no way that this is all it would have cost. Like, I feel like if in a way, like, the company was probably like, thank you that we got to cancel this. We just saved so much extra money. Right. I was so disappointed for that. And then it went into year 2, and the second one was in Ireland, which would have been fun. So those are 2 chances. That
I can't resist, man. I'm watching some of my chat over here, and we were talking about the whole uncle thing, and you thought that was your uncle. They're like, Detective Mallory is Birdie's uncle. You're gonna find out that was your uncle.
Oh my God,
that's hilarious.
That's amazing, but it's so terrifying at the same time.
It's worth its weight in gold, though. I wanted to say, by the way, Julia Rose, thank you for calling me the bike boss and giving me a super chat. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad you let me play that video. It was a little long. I was trying to get it cut down. It came with the expense of drinking. I was going to have a few drinks before going to the show, so I'm a little bit loose, and I'm like, I got to get this video done. I don't have time to drink. So
you haven't had any? Go grab one.
Yeah, I'm good.
Get your soup ladle with your salad bowl.
Right? Yeah, this is not coffee.
Yeah. Dude, well, all right. So what have you, I guess, been looking into to go out to New York? What was your purpose of that? Was there something that you wanted to, I know you said you went to where he was shot, but was there anything else that you went out there and saw?
Yes, I was out there to meet two people in particular. Well, three people. One was one of them I was wanting to meet for sure. But I had two quote unquote. Well, I had three originally. Three big things. John Ray, the attorney for Shannon
that's
Gilbert,
right.
right? I went out and saw John Ray. Oh my God, dude. That meeting with John Ray, worth its weight in gold. I'm not shitting you when I say this. I can't even talk about half the conversation that we had. He told me shit that's not public knowledge, that I got a raging interest in this case, and I'm going to try to follow up on some of the shit that he told me without citing where that shit came from. Holy crap. I wish I could share it and by the way, one of the things he told me was, he told me something that should be public knowledge. I know this is kind of sketchy, but he said, he said this thing about one of the cases, and he said, this just happened. And I said, holy shit, like I've never heard that. He goes, nobody's heard it. It just happened. And I'm like, oh, like I literally want to be the person to announce it. But I realized it's his news. So I'm going to wait for John Ray to announce it and make sure he's said it before I repeat it. But so John Ray was one, of course, was out there for the visit. And I also had an interview, so it's actually four, with Josh Zeman, a director who did a documentary on the Long Island serial killer. He did season 1 of The Killing Fields. I was going to meet with Josh Zeman. Now that ended up getting canceled before I confirmed my trip to New York. So I knew it was going to happen, but I thought I was going to meet with his producer. That didn't happen. And then one more person, which was a woman who had given an affidavit to John Ray. When she was 16 years old, she was a runaway. She actually met the cop, James Burke, who was a police officer who later became the chief of police in the Long Island serial killer case in Suffolk County, and Rex Heuermann, and damn near probably got herself killed, but she had really great street smarts as a 16-year-old. She reached out to me and said, hey, when you come out to Long Island, me and my husband want to drive you around Long Island and tell you my story. Ended up not connecting with her. It was a super disappointment. But those things were all on the agenda.
She just ghosts you or what?
Yeah, she's wow. A little hard to reach, and she ended up unfortunately, I mean, this is not, I'm not going to dog her too much, but unfortunately another YouTuber got a hold of her, and she gave an interview to them just as I was coming out to New York, and I'm like, I've been working with you for weeks to come out and do this interview, and so I'm not mad at her for doing that. That would have sent me. But you know, it is what it is, and I didn't get the opportunity to see her, but so those were the reasons why I was out, and of course to get it off my bucket list because I always wanted to see New York. So
I say that. Like, obviously, I'm not dogging this person. I don't know that. But again, This is why I say the boots on the ground reporter I just don't feel like it meshes with I would take it way too personal in the best way. I would be like, are you kidding me? Do you know where I live? Do you know what I had to do to get here, lady? I stole a freaking e-bike.
Right. Right.
You showed up with one shoe. You got no hat. Your leg's bleeding.
Yes. I've risked life and limb. I've flown 2,500 miles across here, walked through Harlem over glass both ways, and you're telling me you didn't have time for the interview? But anyway, it is, man,
that's crazy.
But maybe it'll still happen in the future. Like I said, I don't want to burn any bridges, and it is what it is. I mean, I knew kind of going into it that it was going to be hit or miss if I got her, so I was trying to make sure it happened, and it just didn't line up. So maybe in the future. By the way, my life is intact because I told Rhonda that if I go to New York, one of my bucket list items is to see my favorite musical, Les Miserables, in New York. And if it's there, I'm going. And she's like, if you go, I will cut off your nuts and feed them to you because you're not seeing Les Miserables without me. And I'm thinking, that's not fair. You're not even into musicals. This has been a lifelong love of passion of mine, this musical. And so I was there. And I saw a sign pop up on the subway train at one of the stations, and it said Les Miserables, New York. And I was like, oh my God, my marriage is over. I'm going.
Oh no.
Now, fortunately, no, they were on break for 1 week while I was in New York. They literally were there the week before, and they're going to start up again the week after I was gone. And I said, well, I guess my marriage is intact because I can't go to Les Miserables.
And you got your balls.
And I kept my balls, which is good. So,
what's going on at the Sphere right now in Vegas? It's it's another musical. The Golden Brick Road one, Wizard of Oz.
Like Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That's what Mrs. Birdie wants to do. And I've never been to the Sphere yet. Have you?
I did go to the Sphere, and it's funny because it sounds like I've got money. I don't. I don't even know how I got to afford to go to this Vegas. It was for a family reunion. But anyways, I will tell you this: I was a little disappointed with the Sphere. It's so cool looking when you're down there. Yeah, I was a little disappointed. I think everybody that we went was a little disappointed in it. So take that for what it's worth. They really hyped it up as this amazing experience. It was an okay experience, but I was expecting an amazing experience. So lower your expectations if you go there and just say, hey, this is going to be okay. And then it'll be really good. But if you go in there thinking this is going to be an amazing experience, you'll be like, I thought that was going to be an amazing experience. So, yeah.
I just saw a comment that reminded me of one of the guys that's one of my best friends that stood up at my wedding. You know, if you got little kids, earmuffs. But for whatever reason, you know, Trump Tower in Vegas. So we were all out there, and that's when I proposed to Mrs. Birdie. And me and my best friend are standing on the pool, like the day before that evening. I was about to ask her to marry me, and we were staying at Resorts World, and right across from Resorts World, like their infinity pool, the gold Trump Tower's there. And I'm like, what are you looking at? He's like, doesn't Trump Tower look like a giant honey pack? Like the gas station hard on honey packs. And I'm just like, I just saw somebody say that. Like, I'm just like, oh my God.
By the way, I have to point out a comment in my chat. Bluebird 13 said, and I want to say, and I have to be careful about this. Josh Zeman has been a narrative driver since 2016. The Shannon Gilbert was not murdered, he said, and that she was on drugs and drowned. His recent discussion with the Sarge was infuriating. And all I got to say about that is John Ray talked and I talked about that very thing that you just said. That's all I can say about that. John Ray has feelings about that as well. And we talked about it. That was, by the way, one of the most surreal moments of John Ray's discussion. We sat there and bullshitted about, he knows people. He knows them personally, of people that I read and study about in these cases. And we're sitting there talking about, oh yeah, you know, and Ray did this, and he's talking about Ray Tierney, the DA. Oh yeah, you know, Michael did this, and he's talking about Rex's lawyer, and he's talking like they're buddies, and they went out to coffee yesterday, and here's what they're talking about. And I'm sitting down and I'm holding my own on this conversation with them. And I'm like, I feel like this is the most amazing experience of my life. I'm literally talking about this enormous case with people who are connected to it. It was amazing.
What do you think your life would be if you grew up in New York? Do you think you would have, like, would you be like a mobster, mafia type
guy? I tell you what, like, I don't want to, you know, take the whole show about New York, but I will tell you this. I had this perception about New York that was completely wrong. I thought New Yorkers were all assholes. I thought I'm going to get run over by somebody and they're going to be cussing me out left and right. There was so much politeness. This is a moment. Let me just a moment. A guy on a street is walking past a hotel. They got one of those, I don't even know what they're called. The guys that are kind of in a suit that stand out there and help you in, you know, like usher you in, an usher or whatever.
Like a valet park or something.
Kind of like that, right? So there's a guy outside, and this guy's asking for some instructions on how to get somewhere. They have this big discussion, and the guy who's asking questions of this guy feels guilty because the conversation's too long. He's like, brother, I don't want to take any more of your time. Thank you so much. When he goes, it's okay, man. Brother, I love you. And I was like, holy shit, these two strangers are like hugging it out on the street. New Yorkers are not assholes. They're like, it's like the city of brotherly love. It was so cool. They're like, brother, I don't want to waste any more time. Okay, you take it easy, brother. And I'm like, fuck, I had the wrong idea about New York. It was amazing.
Why is it surprising? Just because of like movies and stuff you've seen? Or?
Yeah, because and I thought and I thought, you know, you see on TV, you see the subways, right? Graffiti everywhere. I'm going to get jacked. I'm going to get mugged. I'm going down to Grand Central Station, and I'm thinking this is going to be the worst thing of my life. I'm going to go down to Grand Central Station. I got to watch my back. I got to hug onto my camera. I got to watch I get off, and it's freaking marble and fucking beautiful. There's no trash anywhere. It's fucking pristine. There's beautiful lights. There's purple lights, and I'm like, how the hell did I get this wrong? Like, this place is amazing. Like, the whole place is beautiful. It was just, and now granted, I was in the better part of New York, so it wasn't like I was in the bad, seedy part of New York, but it was just, I had the wrong impression about New York. It was great.
Damn, that's cool. Would you go back?
Yeah, for sure. I'll go back. And Rhonda wants to go really bad. So she's asking me to, we'll time it up. If Rhonda and I go back, it'll go back to see Les Miserables and do some business as well and follow up and maybe get that interview that I missed out on. So we'll see.
Get a connecting flight out of O'Hare. Come down.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be great. That would be great.
Did you have a connecting flight or no? Did you go direct? Oh no. What happened? Did you get put on a list?
You know, did you hear about my luggage? Didn't you hear about my luggage?
You told me, but I forgot about that actually. Yeah. I don't know if that was it.
On the way back, it was a direct flight. On the way back, it was a direct. Just to sum it up, I was supposed to fly Seattle. So first of all, it takes me 6.5 hours to drive from my hometown to Seattle. That's how long it took me to get to the airport. 6.5 hours, and I get to Seattle, and I'm flying Seattle to San Francisco with a connecting flight, a 1-hour layover in San Francisco, and then San Francisco to New York. Problem is, my flight in the morning got delayed due to air traffic control, strikes and all this shit like that. And they said, hey, look, that flight's not going to make it to San Francisco. So I I asked the people on board, my luggage has already boarded the plane for San Francisco, but that plane is not going to make it to San Francisco in time for the American Airlines flight to New York. So I said, what do I do? And they said, well, get on this direct flight from Seattle to New York. You don't have to go through San Francisco. Fantastic. Where's my luggage going to be? Well, it'll get there eventually. Yeah, 2 days later, and they delivered it at 1 o'clock in the morning. I had to go see John Ray in my sweats, smelling like sweat from a couple days on the plane and whatever, because my luggage didn't arrive for 2 days and 2 o'clock in the morning. It did eventually get there. I did have to buy some clothes eventually, and they are going to reimburse me for my clothes, or at least they damn well better reimburse me.
Damn.
So yeah, it was a thing.
There's nothing worse than that air, like especially with a long flight, like the airplane stank. You just feel just. I have to shower immediately. I have to change. I have to shower.
Oh, I have to. There's so many moments, dude. We got to stop talking about New York, because I know there's like stuff that happened while I was out of. By the way, I was out of town and heard Coburger shit, and I'm like, I know, I'm in New York. Like I literally know shit's happening in the Coburger case, and I'm in New York. But anyways, I felt like a rock star with two things that happened. One, of course, turned out to be not so cool when the lady sees me in downtown New York. The woman that was yelling at me, yeah, you motherfucker, you YouTuber, I told you I'd follow you. You're on YouTube. You owe me lunch. Well, I thought it was really cool for a moment. Like, wow, somebody in New York recognizes me from YouTube. No, I had my DA jacket on, so she says the YouTube logo. But that was one thing. But the other thing that was kind of cool is I'm staying at an Airbnb. And I asked the lady, hey, do you mind if I go and I do a live stream from my room? I might be a little noisy because I get excited and I talk loud. And she's like, no, go ahead. And she's all casual about it, right? The next day I see her and she's like a little kid in a candy store. And she's like, oh my God. I turned on the TV and I was watching you streaming from my bedroom. And I'm texting all my friends. They're like, oh my God, that dude's literally in my bedroom right now streaming on YouTube. And she was so excited. She was like a little kid. It was awesome. So it was a great moment.
Dude, I don't know why my brain thinks like this. Could you imagine if you would have used that as like some sort of front? Like, hey, I am a YouTube streamer, but you were really in there doing something else. She's telling
all her friends about it. Like,
no, they're all turning on. That guy's in my.
It was awesome.
Oh
man. It was
God.
Great. It was a good moment.
That's funny, man. You got any other trips coming up?
No more trips coming up for the immediate future. No, that's not true. I do have a trip. Oh my God. How did I forget this? I'm going to Moscow, Idaho to put boots on the ground for the anniversary of the murders. Like I'm literally going there November 12th, 13th, in it just a little bit. I'm going to go there with Joe from State of the Deep, who's been on my show a few times with Deep Devils. My mind is so messed with everything. I almost forgot. Yeah, I'm going to Moscow and Pullman, spend a couple days down there. We're going to walk around and put some boots on the ground there as well and do some footage and talk about some things.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I know there was you and I had talked about that. The timing doesn't work out. I want to get out there though. And I think it'd be fun to do like kind of like the cat cam out there, go and just kind of casually talk to people.
Yeah. See
what you can come up with.
I hate saying this because it sounds arrogant, but I think about this, Birdie, you and I together, we seem to have a pretty big following of people who watch us. Right. And I thought to myself, if you and I walk down the street together,
will we get shot?
Somebody there in Pullman is going to be like, oh my God, is that Birdie and DA literally walking down the street of Moscow, Idaho? Like, I feel like somebody would recognize us because they're probably up on the case and follow the case. So it would be weird.
I would like somehow accidentally bump into Chief Fry or Bill Thompson that I've just put on blast. I'd be like, hey, I know I said those things, but right now, can we just talk? Two men, let's just talk. Who cares, right? I mean, you did your thing, I did my thing. Like,
and I would have that strap on camera. And my famous rule in life is, if you're performing, I'm shooting. So you do it, and I'll film it.
Birdie in 4K just gets.
I'll make you famous. It'd be amazing. I'll do the freeze frame, that slow motion. It'd be amazing.
Yeah. No, a tooth goes flying out.
It would be epic.
Oh man, no, but dude, there has been some stuff. I mean, it seems like the since the plea was accepted, right, and then the 45 days passed, there was this lull in the case, and then there's been documents being unsealed, all that stuff. I don't know if you feel this way about any other case. I feel that the people who haven't shut up about this, there's really no shit you can talk to us anymore. because
Yeah.
anybody that would talk shit, it's the most vindicating feeling, because I'm like, if you're talking shit about it, that's how I know you haven't looked into it.
Right.
You know,
right.
like, I used to kind of say that, but now more than ever, and it's only going to continue to snowball. And soon it's going to be over that hump on the roller coaster where you're flying down the hill, you know, and that's what I'm saying is like, there is no way that anybody's argument for Brian Coburger as this lone wolf actor, it's dead in the water. It's dead in the water. It's not even close. I mean, dude, for God's sakes, have you seen these autopsy reports?
I heard about them. I haven't seen them, but I've heard about them. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
and
it's just insane.
The post-mortem wounds. So what, I mean, from what I understand, there was like a significant number of post-mortem wounds. So how does that factor into things? The big one that I heard, that maybe you know more, you probably know way more than I do about it. The big one I heard was the FBI documents that indicate something to do with extortion and watching Coburger since July. I'm trying to figure that shit out. I'm like, how is that? Why did we have so much secrecy in this freaking case in the first place? I don't understand. If they knew who Coburger was from months before, then what the hell is going on? Why all the secrecy?
So I have a family friend who he used to be on SWAT and DEA. Now he's what do they call that? Like the cop at the high school. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
He's a police officer at a school.
Yeah. Security, campus security.
I sent him a screenshot of it. I said, hey, I don't know if you would know this, but like, is there any reason that you would ever fill out a police report like this? Because my thing was, okay, that's on an FBI document. It's on the cast, like the cast net. You know, they watched him since July of 22 or June of 22. So you're going to tell me this guy was on the radar for 5 months. He commits this. Steve G says in the victim impact statements, we had you right away. You have Middleman telling Stacey Chapin at CrimeCon, which I think you kind of broke on this stream.
We got him. Don't worry. Yeah.
So then they let him go for 30 more days and travel across how many states? I don't buy it. There's no way. So my theory is like Coburger, the alibi of driving around late at night and him being surveilled beforehand. I think Coburger, his behavioral predictions, he was studying these mule and trafficking routes. That's what I think he was doing. And that's why they had him for 5 months. That's why 95% of Cy-Ray's mappings are redacted and scrubbed and sanitized and sealed. Because why do you take the long way home? Like if he's out and about driving around late at night, like that alibi, that's fine.
Am I missing something though? But why shouldn't we be furious about that shit? Why should we not be furious about that shit? They've lied about so much shit. They could have come clean with all that shit. It fundamentally makes me so fucking mad. We're getting our nuts busted for being crazy conspiracy theorists. And now the more they take time releasing shit, you're like, yeah, you've been lying about this case the whole time. We knew it, but we still don't have the whole story, but you clearly have been lying the whole time. And yet I'm getting kicked in the balls for being an asshole and not leaving the families alone because it just happened the way it happened. It did not happen the way that they said it happened. Anyways, sorry.
And the comment on screen, Mrs. Nasiferato, sorry if I butchered that. What do you mean by that? You said they had to wait 30 days so he couldn't get video proof of his own alibi. So you're saying that somebody that they know that was on their radar for 5 months just stabbed 4 kids to death and they know it's him. They got to wait 30 days to arrest them. Is that what you're saying? I'm not trying to blast you. That doesn't make any sense. Because if his alibi is I was stargazing, I was out, I was at the park. Okay. Where are these security cameras? Why is Ann Taylor not going and trying to find it? You say, oh, I did. But what about other corroborating things to that alibi? Because your phone being off, stargazing at 3 a.m. is the shittiest alibi I've ever heard in my life. You know what I mean? And so anyways, my thing is, okay, I had Lana on the stream last night. She said, I believe that Nick Balanche, I can never say his name because of my lisp, but he filled that out and essentially was lying, saying that he was trying to look into Jack and people that could have been extorting the girls. That's how he labeled it. But my question then is, that's the worst idea ever in a lone wolf narrative. Why would he ever think he would get away with it? So I think it's a great take, but I do wonder
if there's extortion, the problem is if there's extortion involved, then how do you do there's no connection whatsoever between Brian Coburger and the girls. We have no idea how he knew any of them or how he knew the house. How can all of that be true if there's any kind of extortion element to Brian Coburger and anyone in that thing? Because they said they have no connection between him and anybody in the house, and they can't place him at the house, and they can't
Desi
so
sums
mad.
it up right here. If you want to read that, Desi's comment.
To me, you don't necessarily have to do a lot of digging into the case. It takes just common sense and pay attention to what's been said and to realize what the hell is going on in this case. Right. And so many people don't have common sense. I still have to deal with people who are like, you're an idiot. He pled guilty. Yeah, you're an idiot. You haven't watched this case. For 2.5 years, you haven't paid attention to this case. I want to freaking strap you down, force your eyelids open with some shit, and make you fucking watch about an hour and a half of video, and then you'll change your mind a little bit. Anyways, I'm mad.
Well, dude, so I agree with that comment, right? And shout out to everybody in here that had a gut feeling and stuck to their guns on it, right? It wasn't easy. It's still not the easiest thing because there's so much pressure and there was such a narrative push. But guys, this is a very important thing to not feel pressure from the media. They've succeeded for way too long doing that. There has been so many things that the media has forced everyday normal people to not do anymore. And then it's like you give an inch, they'll take a mile. And when it comes to this type of stuff, I'm now, in my mind, DA, one of the discussions I had Sherlock up on the stream randomly. We were talking about the greater good doctrine. Dude, I don't know if that is something that as a society we should just blindly accept and continue to let them take that to whatever lengths they need to. Because the greater good, okay, you can't really claim that when it's your narrative you're saying. You have how many millions of taxpayer dollars just from a financial standpoint. You have how much logistical stuff. You have how much media stuff. You have how much outrage. You have how much, people say, stop, let the families heal, let the whatever. We're not causing it. We wouldn't even know about it if they didn't do it.
Not only that, but I want to just side tangent for a moment. All these people who tell me that I'm a piece of shit for attacking the families. I say this with honesty. The families themselves to stay the hell off of YouTube and grieve. If that, and I'm not saying that rude to them. If they have a problem hearing that people are asking questions, they should stay away from YouTube and all the people. Like, we aren't hurting them unless they're going and watching. And then somebody will tell me, I just forwarded your video to that family and I hope they sue you. And I'm like, how about you're an asshole for forwarding the video to them? They didn't have to know about the video. Yeah. You're putting it in their face. How about just let them get on with their life? You're telling me to leave them alone. Why would you forward my video to them and show it to them? Fuck you. Like, yeah, who's the asshole here? Sorry.
Dude, there are so many adults that just act like absolute psychos with this case. Yeah. Like there's so many adults that, for example, there's people that disagree with what I say, with what you say, with what many others say, to the point where let's dox them. Let's do this. Oh, really? Because I think a police investigation wasn't done right. Let's do that. Let's cause hell for them. It's not like I'm out here. Am I out here being racist, or am I joining, a white supremacy group? Am I doing that? No, I'm simply looking at what the news is saying, and I go, I actually can detect the bullshit. Okay, so shut up, crawl back into whatever hole you came out of, drink the tap water, watch your CNN and Fox News, and shut the hell up at this point. Just shut up. Right. Never come out of your cave again, you gremlin-looking monster.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. If you get, I feel the anger, man.
I can't bite my tongue on it anymore because of my point that I started this little transition into talking about this about 5-10 minutes ago, which is, if you now disagree that there's not any weird stuff about this, or if you're still in the camp of Brian Coburger is so guilty it's not even funny, at this point, you need to go take an IQ test. You really do. You need to actually, before we do that, let's hook you up to a lie detector test and let's see if you're lying. And if you're telling the truth, then we need to declare some sort of intervention with your close family and your close friends. Although then it's going to turn into this massive intervention because you're probably surrounded by a bunch of people
by morons,
that think just like you. So at that point, there's really not much we can do other than to just keep a close eye on you, make sure you don't get into these positions of power, and that you don't end up effing everybody over in that at the end of the day. Because it's people like that get into these positions of power because they play within the confines of the system. They drink the Kool-Aid so much. They're these people pleasers. They fail upward, and they're just continued to get rewarded and rewarded more with power and money and all these things. And then they go and they dick over the guys and the people in the Hive like you and me. And then they get this big platform and they will shadow ban you and they will do all these things to you. They don't know anything other than I'm going to parrot this talking point. It's what's social. It's the norm. I can't get attacked for it. I'm righteous because I'm doing what everybody else is doing rather than thinking for myself. And I cannot stand it. Like the people that are going to come over into comments and all that shit, dude, I'm telling you this genuinely, DA. I don't care anymore. I haven't cared for a very long time because I trust my own brain. I trust the stream and the chat to, okay, I just fucking thought the Taj Mahal was in Russia for 18 years of my life. And I just watched myself get embarrassed like an idiot. And you know what I did? I admitted
own it. You own it. You just own it. You're like, oh yeah.
My childhood memory is gone. Yeah. Okay. I got to go to India. And now it is what it is. You know what? Maybe it'll be just as spectacular. Probably not because of my mind, but you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. People can't admit they're wrong, bro.
And you're right. And I think people kick us in the teeth all the time if we get the smallest detail wrong, you know, and like not to side tangent a million things, but I was reading a police document and all I said in an MPD police document was so-and-so went and studied at the Albertsons building together. And I was like, that's weird because I'm thinking Albertsons, the grocery store. And I'm like, the Albertsons. Turns out I got my nuts busted by about 100 people. Oh my God, you effing idiot. The Albertsons building is a building on campus owned by the Albertsons family, who by the way owns the Albertsons food chain. So it wasn't that far of a stretch, but they're kicking me in the teeth like, you're an idiot. Why don't you do some research before you open your mouth? And I'm like, I literally just said, that's an interesting thing and I said, is that the grocery store? It was a question. And I got my teeth kicked. You need to do some research before you open your mouth. And I'm like, never mind. I'm not going to go there. But
no, dude, it's like, one of the things that probably makes me sound like a psycho. And I don't know if it's like just from playing like physical contact sports. And I'm not trying to sound like a meathead, but at a certain point you got to kind of lean into it.
Yeah.
I played football my entire life until I was, 21, 22. And it was like, when I stopped, I'm like, this sounds really psychotic, but I'm craving this like violent, physical.
I want to hit somebody.
Let's go. Yeah. Because, and at the same time though, the reason why I say that is if you've ever played football or if you've ever played a contact sport, like when you light somebody up, it is the best feeling in the world. There is nothing better than running through someone's face and coming out their ass. It is the best feeling. When on the other side, like when you get got, it's the worst feeling. There is nothing worse. It's inevitable when you get to a certain level. You're gonna get lit up, and when it happens, it sucks.
I do love a good collision. There used to be a commercial. Do you remember the Terry Tate office linebacker?
I love that video.
The guy be drinking his coffee and like boom, and he knocked him off his ass. And he's like running like a little girl. No, dude, I used to love every time he'd do one of those big hits. I'd be like, oh, that feels good. That would be so fun. Anyway,
yes,
yeah, it's good shit.
Yes, so I make that analogy, right?
Yeah,
because it's like, okay. Are people going to be able to get me out of technicality? Right.
Yeah.
I stream for hours every night. Of course, there's probably something that I've said. Okay. Yeah, but that's also keep in mind, documents are sealed. I've speculated for months on this because we can't see shit.
Yeah.
Now, and it's constantly changing. So it's not anything that I'm afraid of leaning into. I know that what I'm doing more times than not, like I said, is running through these normies' face and coming out their ass. But they'll get me on a technicality every now and again. Of course they will. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. That's life. That's the way of true, like when you're really doing it live. This is a live show. That's what happens. I'm not sitting here editing these. Everything is shared on the screen. You guys are hearing my thoughts out loud, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I do want to address something real quick. Jennifer, like Henry on my side, kind of needling me a little bit because she's mentioned several times about Coburger, or about the whole Idaho thing being a reenactment of the movie Scream. I did a video, by the way, on that. And that's another thing people say. Like, people are like, "You're just going to ignore this, but this is what happened." And I'm like, I literally did a video on the whole Scream movie and whether or not it was in a reenactment of Scream. So I did cover that. But anyway, so I just wanted to mention that because I have people kick me in the teeth and I'm like, I've got 700 videos out there. Like, sometimes I actually have already talked about it a little bit, but.
Well, yeah. And that's also, yeah, that's going to end up happening.
Yeah.
But also the important thing is that's where you have to, what I've told myself is there going to be things that you have to repeat or that you will end up repeating? Yes. Should you not say it because you have to repeat it? No. It's like you have to see and you have to hear something so many times before it clicks. So when it's a part of the broader picture. Like, think about what the mainstream news does with us. How many times did we hear Brian Coburger did X, Y, and Z, or Luigi did X, Y, and Z, or whatever? It clicks. It becomes right. You got to work twice as hard when you're on this side of the aisle and against the mainstream media when it comes to, we have to reverse this brainwashing. I actually think that it is a form of brainwashing, DA. I'm serious. These people need to be studied. Like, I think they need to be studied. And I don't know how you study them. Okay. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know how people's brains work in that way. It's not me saying anything bad should happen to them by any means, but it's just like, I really hope that you're never in charge of anything very important that requires critical thinking. Because if you do, we're so aft.
God help us. Yeah.
And in a way, there's a lot of people that are in these positions now. One of the things that I learned when I became an adult, DA, I don't know if you remember this, as you're kind of, you're going from high school, college age to where you're getting kind of your first real job, as people call it, right? Like, I had jobs in high school and shit, but I'm saying, like, now you're not going to school anymore. This is going to be a full-time thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna try to work your way up. I was shocked. Even as, when I look back at now that I'm, quote, an adult, I look back at these people that when I was a kid, I'm like, they have all the answers. And now, just at work, it's not even how they do their position necessarily. It's like their mannerisms. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, you're in charge of a $500 million company. What are you doing? Like, I just watched you not know how to do X, Y, and Z. What are we doing here?
Yeah. I worked
social
at
skills.
As an aside, because that's what we do when we get together. It seems like we just riff on shit. I worked at a national laboratory for scientists, and everybody I worked with had a PhD, and they did not have basic life skills, some of them. And you have the same question. You're like, dude, you're literally a nuclear scientist, and you don't know this simple thing. So I have to remind myself sometimes that you can be book smart on something and spend your whole career on it, but it doesn't mean you got simple common sense on some real simple things.
Dude, well, you got to think about it. Now, if you had to go to school before the internet and where everything was at your fingertips like it is today, dude, it makes sense why you didn't have time to look into anything else, right? It does.
Yeah.
It seems like it would take forever. You can now learn something through and through probably faster than it would take for you to go find the book at the library without having it to even know, or drive around to the library or whatever it may be. Right.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of first jobs, my favorite job and my first job, again, not just outside of like summer jobs, but like one of the things that I did when I was in college, I guess I worked at a lumber yard. It was my favorite job. I got my forklift certification. So I got an extra $2.80 an hour. Yeah. And I was good at it. I was really good at it. I would get my bag of David's sunflower seeds and a water bottle, and I would just drive around for 8 hours and spit seeds and drive this forklift. Well, one day, the guy who drives this like giant ass truck for deliveries, he doesn't show up. He calls in. And so my boss goes, "Hey, I'm going to have you on deliveries today. I need you to get in the truck, and I want to see how you drive it around the parking lot." Okay, this is my road test for this giant ass truck. Yeah. Now keep in mind, I live out in the Midwest where I went to school, kind of country. But dude, this thing had like the forklift thing on the back. So you could pull the fork. Like, you should probably have a license for it. Anything over however many axles.
Yeah.
I failed miserably. I failed miserably driving this thing. The air brakes. I'm like, dude, I don't feel comfortable doing this. Like I'm 19 at this point. Okay.
Yeah.
20. So he says, all right, we could probably fit this delivery into the box truck. I go, okay, that I can do. Cause it's like a moving truck. It's just a big moving truck pretty much. So he gives me this delivery, and for whatever reason, he which I do appreciate, but you got to understand, I've never had to use MapQuest in my life since I've been driving. He printed out MapQuest directions, and he goes, in case, your phone dies, because the truck was old. It doesn't have a USB, or I didn't have like a cigarette charger thing. I guess I could have went to the gas station, got one, but I didn't. And I had like a Samsung, like whatever. Make a long story short, my phone does die. I don't know how to judge distance without the countdown of the 1, 2, 3, 4 miles on the way there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I left at 9 a.m. Okay. I didn't get back.
That's a great way to start that story. Dude, I left at 9 a.m.
Yeah. I didn't get back until almost 6:45 at night. We close at 8. Dude, they couldn't get a hold of me. My phone's dead. This guy thought I stole their truck probably. By the grace of God, I had found this place. Okay. I stopped in a gas station to charge my phone, which was taking forever. I got to like 9%. And then as soon as I dropped off the delivery, my phone died again. Luckily for me, okay, I don't know how to get back to school. Like I worked at the lumberyard near campus. So I don't know how to get there by heart, but I did know how to get to my mom and dad's house, which is an hour and a half out of the way. And I said,
oh my God.
I said, I know that if I get to their house,
they can
then I can get back to campus. So that's what I did. Dude, I never drove the delivery truck again at all. Like I actually couldn't even drive the forklift. Okay. I went back to having to stack lumber and they call it flat stacking. I just had to make wood look neat. That's what I had to do. It was like humiliating, but I'm like, it was actually scary.
I love that we tell personal stories. You've been in sales, right? You've been in sales. Did I tell you about my favorite job, which was a sales job, but I also learned that I'm not a salesman? Did I tell you that story? Oh God, it's a pretty good story, and I don't know if I can tell it in a short amount of time, but I will try. The company was called Future Shop. They were like a Best Buy in the United States. They were a Canadian company, and they only had a few stores. And I got to get on one of the ground opening stores in the US. Future Shop was trying to make their thing, and they're going to sell all these computers. And I became and it was amazing. My interview was the most intimidating interview I've ever had in my life. I ended up winning the interview. I got sent to Seattle for special training and I learned what they called sales track. I learned how to, my name's Lee. What's your name? Shake their hand, get their name, build rapport. I learned how to work them, right? I learned how to close the deal, how to ask for the sale, how to close the sale, overcome people's objections. I became trained in sales. Now you can't pull sales track on my ass. I recognize it when I see it. But the point being is that there was a moment, it reminds me of like telling our favorite jobs, right? I loved that company because one of my duties was to go every single day before I start work to our competitors like Office Max or Office Depot with a notepad and write down the prices of all their computers that were the same computers that we sold in our store and come back and update our prices. And I had the authority to override the prices in the system and change it because we had a policy of beating the competition's price by 155% of the difference. So if somebody had our computer that we had for $1,200 for $900, we had to beat it for that difference plus, right? So did I tell you the story? So I get into this thing and this lady calls me on the phone and she goes, "Hi, do you have like the compact 9720? Yes, ma'am, we do. And you're supposed to never tell them on the phone what the price is. Do you have that computer? Yes, we do. How much is it? Well, it's $1,200. Okay, I'm coming down to buy it. So, then I get a phone call back and she's like, "It turns out Office Mask has that same computer for $900. So I want you to beat it by 155% of the difference." So I tell my manager and he's like, "Okay, you screwed up. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to take thousands of dollars out of the till right now. You're going to go over with one of our salespeople to Office Max. We're going to change our ticket on our floor right now to say it's a $700 computer. You're going to go over there and you're going to tell them we have this computer for $700 and make them beat it by 155% of the difference. And you're going to buy every fucking machine they have in their store and bring it back here. And then we'll jack our price back up before that lady gets here." And I was like, is this actually happening? So we went over there and we tell the manager, and that manager smells bullshit. He's like, bullshit, you have that computer for $700. That's so under. And so he's pissed.
Get in the car, we're going.
Yeah. He's pissed. We load up the computers and he literally sends his employees to our store in uniform to come check out what kind of shenanigans are going on. So I'm coming in, we're wheeling all of his computers into our warehouse to get them off the floor. We're changing price tags in the system real quick to change the price, putting it right in front of him. We're slipping a new tag that says our price is $7.99. It was the craziest shit. And my manager's laughing his ass off, thinking it was the best day of his fucking life. He thought it was amazing. And they're like, oh my God, we got him over. And they at the end, they saw that I wasn't happy. And they're like, what's going on? Do you not feel good about this? Like, that was shitty fucking pool. Like, that's horrible. And they're like, I don't think you have what it takes to be a salesperson. And that's when I stopped being in sales.
Yeah, that's some
you're
Dwight
right.
Schrute shit.
It was funny, but I was like, I can't do that to somebody. That was horrible.
It's smart. It's smart. But yeah, I agree. So, I was doing like med device sales, like beds, stretchers, chairs. And I still have my day job, but I've just gone into a different like position for it. Still in sales, but that was when I started. Did I tell you? Have I ever told you the story about my titties ain't never felt so good? Have I told this story?
How could I have forgotten the story if you started like that? But no, I haven't heard that one. Yeah.
Wait, you really haven't?
No, I haven't heard it. I would remember that story for the rest of my life. Let's go.
Oh my God. Hang on. I want to ask the Hive. Has anybody in the Hive heard that my titties ain't felt so good story? I can't make this shit up.
I need to get a drink. You need to take me off camera for just a moment. I'm going to listen on the headset. But
well, I'll wait till you get back. I'll talk with the chat. Dude, I know if you tune in, if you're tuning in, maybe since the TikTok days, you haven't heard of it, but, oh my God. DA is going to love this one. Ray goes, wait, what's it called again? My titties ain't ever felt so good. Like it's funny because never in a million years would I have ever expected to be talking about this story. Like looking back at my life, I just thought it was just this really funny, awkward, in the moment type story. But now it's like become this thing, even amongst like my family and my friends. They love this story. And those are when they become like the best stories. Cause it took me a couple of weeks to even like tell anybody about it. Cause I kind of forgot about it. That's how little I thought about it. But yeah, Ray. It delayed, repeat. Just keep saying titties. Oh, he's backstage. All right.
Best day of my life. Let's do this.
Yeah. Okay. So my first job out of college, when I got hired, I just got my foot in the door at a medical device sales company, and my role was an associate. So this job honestly, it sucked. It was a grind, but it was about 18 months. You knew that it was like, you just had to put your time in, then you would get your own territory. So I did that, and I couldn't rent a car. So I had to drive all over from, at the time I was living in Milwaukee, I would go up to Detroit, over to Kentucky, out to Omaha, down to the bottom of Missouri. Okay. It's like the true geographic Midwest, just miles. And I had to wear a suit and tie every day. I was in a hotel, I think like 239 days that year.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a lot. Lived in my parents' basement. Pretty much just went home to do dry cleaning with the suit and ties. So anyways, I was working in the south side of Chicago, and a lot of the things that the associates had to do at this time was night shift. So the reps would go out and they would sell and they would implement the day shift, and then they would have their associates come in and they would teach the night shift nurses. So usually I would spend a week in each rep's territory, and I would just kind of rotate. Well, this particular week, the training was, like I said, in Chicago. So I go downtown, I park my car, and I walk into the hospital. This is the first night of education. I'm doing what's known as it's like a barrier cream cloth. So if you have an open wound kind of in like that area, like if you're in bed and you're in the ICU and it sits on there, it's like battery acid on your skin. So when you clean it up, it leaves like a protective barrier. So that was one of the products that we sold. Okay. Like we had like 20 that we would sell, but that one, and I actually enjoyed doing that product because the in-servicing it's a wipe at the end of the day. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, but there's just certain things that you have to like let people know, like, hey, this product changed out. Here's why it looks this way. Here's what you can use it for. Here's what you can't. What kind of wounds. Very easy versus where, you have to go get an entire room and a bed, rent it out and wheel that around. So I thought this was going to be just a really easy, quiet night. So I walk in there and I give the in-service, and these nurses are just the best nurses ever. They're and night shift typically is, if it's a pretty easy night, like they're having a lot of like fun within, you know what I mean? As much fun as you can have. And so I go there on Monday, and this nurse kind of pulls me to the side after I get done. And she's like, hey, I have this lady who's overweight. She's in, room, whatever. She's like, she has skin breakdown underneath her breasts. She's like, can I use it on the breast? I know you said it's kind of for like incontinence cleanup, but like, since you said the barrier and it kind of disinfects, whatever, can I use that there? So I said, yeah, it's this, it's skin. That's totally fine. I've been asked that before. And so she's like, oh, okay, great. I'm going to give it a try. She's like, what day are you going to be back? I'm like, I'll be back Thursday. Didn't think anything of it. Okay. But I had walked over the room, and actually the lady in the bed had seen me. And I just, hey, how's it going? Like I don't know what to say, right? So I leave. Well, dude, Thursday I go back. And the way that the floor and the unit was set up was when you got off the elevator and you walked onto the unit, it was like the second door to the right. And so if you're in the bed through the door and I'm standing at the nursing station, you can see me.
Yeah.
Okay. So she must have seen me, the lady in the bed, walk in, and about 2 seconds past her door, I hear this lady start going, nurse, nurse. Okay. So I stop, and I could see like two nurses that were doing charting, like look over at me. And she's just yelling. She goes, someone tell that man my titties ain't ever felt so good.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I mean, dude, it should be like that should be that company's ad for the product.
Your titties will never feel this good.
She was elated. And I can imagine that is probably a very relieving feeling, but like, dude, it was so funny. Like she was, and she didn't stop yelling it. She just kept yelling it.
It's good.
Yeah. So like, yeah.
Wow.
So that's
that's hilarious. And context is everything. Like somebody who walks in at the wrong time on that is like, what the hell is that about? Like,
what is Birdie yelling about now?
I'm pretty sure we're going to file a lawsuit on whatever he was doing in that room.
Yeah. So, but
hilarious.
Dude, like the other time, see, this is just now it's getting a little bit inappropriate, but this is the craziest shit I've ever seen.
It's getting a little inappropriate.
No, this is like,
all right.
Okay. So dude, I had my boss with me for a ride along. Okay. So your manager has to come with you once a quarter. And
by the way, as before you start, I love that you and I are on a computer and you're still lowering your voice like we're talking in a room together. Like, okay, dude. So what happened was like we're literally like we're in a crowded place and you got to keep it a little on the down low. Like we're being watched by maybe thousands of people and you're like, dude, hold on. Dude.
I know.
All right. No, it's great. It makes you authentic. Let's do this.
Yeah. So and at the time, my boss was very old school. Hence why I'm wearing a suit and tie still. Every other rep is wearing like the Cole Haan shoes with like Lululemon pants. They got just a polo or they're wearing scrubs. Like, no, I look like a jackass walking into a hospital in a suit and tie to talk about ass wipes. You know what I mean? Like it was his thing. And in addition to that, and also that was the best boss I've ever had. Like it was one of those things where I'm like, I'm so glad that my first boss taught me all these fundamentals. Right. But he stuck to it. So, anyways, he was very specific though about dress code. And then also when he would work with you. Okay. Here are some of the things that he required when he would work with you. He quote says, I don't care if it's raining out. You're going to pick me up in a clean car. So take your car through the car wash. You're going to have a hanger for my jacket. You're going to have a couple bottles of water and a snack. There's going to be a folder sitting on the dashboard for me with an itinerary and then any of the clinical studies that I need for the day, along with your 12-month history of your numbers. Dude, to this day, I still, when I have somebody ride with me, I put it.
That's
I
how
don't
you-
do the
that's your
snacks and
mentality.
shit, but I do
Yeah.
the folder. I do the coat hanger. I grab some water, and I do that, and it's a nice touch,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
For sure.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So I have him working with me, and one of the other things that he would say is, I should know how often you're in an account by if people recognize you when you're walking around the units. So, which is that's a good tell, right? Your customers should know who you are if you're really going into the hospitals and working.
Yeah.
Full transparency, I wouldn't wear a suit every day. Like, to put a suit and tie on at 2:30 in the morning to go talk to 18 people is just ridiculous. So I thought it was.
Yeah.
So I would wear just a dress shirt and slacks. Dude, I picked the worst hospital I could have ever picked. I picked the hospital that I was like buddies with all these nurses because I'd spent the most time there. I didn't even put two together. They've never seen me in a suit there, probably.
Oh yeah.
So now they see me in a suit. Like, the first lady that we see goes, "Oh, you're in a suit today." And I'm like, God damn it. Like, he knows that I'm not following the dress code. I heard it like 4 or 5 times.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So today you're in a suit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, you clean up nice." And I'm like, "Oh man." All right. So anyways, we had to go down by the OR. This is where, again, if you have little kids, earmuffs, it's not that inappropriate. So we were doing like cold calls. So we go and we like, knock on people's doors, introduce ourselves, all that stuff. And he kind of wants to see how, what's your approach to it? Are you doing it good? Are you kind of overcoming objections? All the classic manager stuff. And we go to this lady's office. When we walk by, we have to go by this like waiting area for people that are waiting to go into surgery. I still am so confused at this point as to why this gentleman was just in a hallway on a stretcher by himself. And I knew he was about to go into surgery. He had like the silver cap on, like the hairnet. He was in a gown.
Yeah.
And he looked like he was sedated or something. Like, he was awake, but he kind of just looked loopy. And we see him, and he kind of like lifts his head up and like looks at us. Okay, that was on the way there. Okay. On the way back, when this lady doesn't answer her door, he's doing the slow stroke in the hallway. Okay.
Oh no.
So we look over. We're like, "Oh my God." You can imagine. There's no way, A, that you expect to see that. B, I'm with my boss. I don't like, we're just like, and it's a long hallway. It takes a couple seconds to walk past this thing. Okay. So we see that. We're laughing. Not at him. Like, we're past the hallway now. So we're laughing. This lady who was supposed to be in her office is now just coming back from lunch. So we see her. We're like, "Oh, hey, we were just at your office." So now we have to turn around and we have to go back past this hallway that we know what's waiting. It's a minefield.
Right.
Okay. I
You
look at
didn't
my
warn her,
boss.
did
I look at my boss and I go, do we say something? Like, what do we do? like, do we let this lady know, like, as soon as we walk around the corner, she's in for
a
sight.
treat.
Okay.
Right.
So he's like, no. He's like, no, stop.
No, let this play out. Let it, for God's sake, man, let it play out.
Right. Dude, this isn't a matter of, by the time we had walked it the first time, we thought he was loopy. To the time we walked back, he was doing his thing. To the time we see this lady, it's under 2 minutes. You know what I mean? If you could picture like a hallway downstairs, like in a hospital. This guy's snoring. He's passed out now by the time we come back. I couldn't not laugh. This lady thought that I was a psycho. I was literally like wiping my eyes of tears going into this meeting. Like, "I'm so sorry." And she goes, "Guys, like, tell me what happened." And my boss was just like, "Okay, it's very unprofessional, but we have to tell you what we saw." Dude, it was the funniest meeting I've ever had.
That is hilarious. That's
Mrs. Birdie goes, "The old Jopo, the jerk off pass out."
Jerk off pass out. I didn't know that was a phrase, the Jopo. Nice.
Oh
Wow,
man.
that's a great story. That's a great story. I love the boss. Like, "Don't you say a word. Let this play out."
Don't. Like, he's like, "We need this close. We need this close." And I'm like, we're gonna get like,
it's not on us. We can't be in trouble for just shutting our mouth.
I mean, dude, and it's like, how long did you do your sales job for?
I think 6 months. I wasn't in it for long. Yeah.
Type of 1 if you're in sales or if you had a relatively longer sales career. The amount of awkward moments in sales meetings is remarkable.
I learned so much from sales. I learned so much from that company. I really did. I learned a lot about selling stuff. But
I don't want to just bore everybody with stories. Dude, I
I
could
know,
talk forever on this because the amount of shit, if you're in sales, the people that have typed 1, and the awkward shit always happens when you're meeting with somebody that wants nothing to do with the meeting, that they just agreed out of probably being annoyed and bothered and are like, shit, I just want to get this over. Okay. So, I mean, I could tell more, but I don't know if you have anything to say before I do, because I will keep them going. But
the only thing I was going to say is there was a moment, and I did. So my chest camera in New York faces straight forward, and it has a really wide periphery, right? But there was a moment.
You walking around your hotel room, chesting it out.
There was a moment. This 6'4" black dude. I mean, tall dude. He comes out of a hotel. And he's like shimmying down by his by his crotch with his hands. And I joke on the camera, I think this guy's gonna whip it out right here and piss in the street. He literally did that. He just flat out unzipped, whipped it out, and just took a big old streamer. And my wife's like, "Are you getting that on camera?" And I'm like, "What? No, because I have to literally turn my whole body and look at him. I'm not going there." But yeah, he just totally. So, anyways, when you had that story, I was like, this is the guy that just pulled it out and just went on Manhattan Street right there and didn't give a fuck about anybody. But
dude, it's just it's quite remarkable whenever you're not expecting to see something and you're by yourself. For example, I've had a hole-in-one in golf. I was by myself. I hate saying that. I think I told you that. I don't even like talking about it because nobody believes it. They're like, "Oh yeah, sure you did." I'm like, I know they're just giving me shit. Like, I know they believe me because I don't lie. But I was literally by myself. I FaceTimed my brother and I was running to the hole. And that was the first thing out of his mouth. He's like, "No, you're alone." I'm like, "Dude," and I'm like in a full sprint to the par 3, like yeah, literally. I was being a maniac by myself. Like I left my clubs up at the tee box.
As an aside, have you ever? I mean, it's probably more impressive than golf. But
sorry,
have you ever?
Doesn't count. Thanks, Mike.
Doesn't count. Yeah, but have you ever played disc golf with
I love disc golfing.
I
used to in high school a lot.
I love disc golf as well. And anyways, I only had one hole in one in my whole life on disc golf. And it was like this pad and it had a slope and it went down way down on the other side. And so all you had was a berm. You couldn't even see the basket. And I'm just kind of like, all right. And I just hooked it. And my buddy who's standing at the top of the berm is watching my flight path. I can't see the flight path. And all of a sudden, all he does is he turns to me and goes like this, and I hear ching, and I hit a hole in one, and he's just like, "Fuck, you couldn't even see that thing," and I'm just like, whoosh, and he's just like,
"That's awesome." How far was it?
I don't know. It wasn't terribly far. I'm not a big driver, but it was just because you couldn't see it and you had to arc it just right. It was my great moment. And again, I couldn't. So while nobody was there to see your hole in one, I didn't even get to see my own hole in one.
Oh,
but it was still pretty impressive.
I one hopped it, hit the flag stick, and it fell straight down.
That's amazing.
It's about like 154-yard par 3. The thing is that you said you're not a big driver. Yeah. The reason why my golf game has come to a halt is that I can't get the mentality out of my head that 320 into the woods is much cooler than 230 down the fairway. I like hitting the shit out of the ball. I can't control it. Right. But I really enjoy golfing. I don't get out that much though.
You don't have to have the big drive if your short putts are good,
Yeah, and I'm good at putting. I get what you're saying.
I can still get up there with the best of them, right? But it's the short game. It's the short game. I do really well at the short. I do well at the short game. So a lot of these young guys, they'll just rip it up there, and they'll be up there, but then they're not so good at finishing. I feel like, are we still playing disc golf? Anyways, I love disc golf, but I never played real ball golf. I'd like to play it sometime, but I don't have.
That's what we'll do. We'll take you guys golfing. That'll be fun.
Yeah, at least drive something at the golf range or something. See if I can even hit a ball.
Yeah, you'll just be like
no.
You'll be my drunk golf cart driver.
I could totally do that.
Yes,
that part I can handle of the game.
Creepy pickup lines, maybe on the cart girl.
Right, yeah, maybe, yeah. I'm probably good for those.
Yeah, and then Aubrey said, only if you wear the cat cam while we're doing that. See, that would be amazing. We should mic up.
Totally. Oh yeah.
So, man, now I forgot that sales. Oh, so the sales story that I was going to tell about how, like, if you're in sales, you'll know that the most awkward stuff always happens with the people that they just don't like you. Like I say this with 100%. I believe this. There are people that I've called on that if they saw me in the parking ramp late at night, they'd run me over their car. That's how annoying I've been. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I know that I've like just blown their doors off trying to get a meeting to the point where now I don't even send emails trying to set a meeting. I just start sending invites. I just start sending invites.
You're invited to come to this meeting.
Yeah. So, dude, this lady must have turned me down for no bullshit, like 6 or 7 months. She finally agrees. She's about 15 minutes late. I'm standing outside her office and we have these giant roller bags. Oh,
Freeze.
why?
Your audio is good. Your video is not.
Why do I get stuck in the worst freaking
Yeah.
things?
Your mouth is open, kind of like high school again. Dun, dun. And we will return after these messages. After these messages, we'll be right back. Ah. Wow. I'm on Birdie's show without Birdie. What could I possibly do? Feels like I should take a moment for this. This is like a great opportunity. No, I can't do it. I can't. My impersonation game sucks. I can't even impersonate him. Shit. I feel like a failure.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. That's the second time this week that I've been caught with my mouth open right by this mic. It's terrible. Okay.
It's all good.
And it's terrible because I can see it on my phone. I'm like, oh my God, I hope this unfreezes very quickly.
Why does it always have to be in that
I can't be, like,
position?
back here, you know, like I'm like, oh, I'm right up here. Yeah.
Anyways, I'm gonna avoid.
Yeah.
going
Last
further.
time was way worse. Terrible, dude. I mean, I must have been saying like something with like an O, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, I do. Where were we?
So this lady's 15 minutes late. I've been blowing her up for 6-7 months. She works at this VA. Finally agrees to meet with me, and we have these giant duffel bags that we have all of our products in, but they don't have smooth wheels. They have like rumble strip wheels. So it's like down the hallway. Like they know when we're there.
Yeah.
It's so loud. And so I have this thing with me, and I'm trying. This lady's office is a closet. Like I couldn't even fit me and the bag in there. So now I'm leaving this like very suspicious looking black bag in a VA right by the elevator doors. Okay. I'm like, oh my God, like security is probably going to come or something like, but I go into this meeting as I sit down and I already know this lady. Like I have a really good sense of like, I know this lady doesn't want to meet with me. All I'm really having this meeting for is for her to hopefully tell me somebody's name that doesn't hate my guts, that there might be a chance that I could sell something to.
Right.
The way that this lady's office was set up was so asinine. It was so dumb. And the office was so small. I go to sit down on the chair. And when I go to lean back, she's got bookshelves that are on those metal things. They're just,
And you knocked it all.
it's just a piece of wood. They're not even connected. They're just sitting on two like corner frames, like the 90-degree things. I smoked the back of my head. Bookshelf off the thing, falls down. I literally go, oh, fuck. Like, I'm literally like, I'm holding my head. I'm like checking my hand for blood.
Wow.
This
Great
lady,
first impression.
this lady doesn't have a soul. I'm convinced. She's staring at me like this. Her books are everywhere, disheveled. I'm bleeding slightly from the back of my head.
She can't even give you
She
a
didn't even
courtesy
move.
laugh. or
She
nothing.
didn't say if I'm okay. She just sat there like this. So then I started panicking and I played it cool. And I go, so I'm like, so tell me about your ceiling lifts.
Wow.
I mean, oh my God, it was terrible. That was one where I'm just like, this is going nowhere. The last one that I'll tell.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, I don't good. No, I said good. There's another story. I know it sounded like good. I meant good. There's another story. I know how that sounded. Yeah.
Dude. So, all right. I told you that first time with the work with, this was the worst work with I've ever had in my life. The worst thing. The fact that this all happened in a span of 48 hours is just, I was being punished for something. Okay.
Yeah.
So this girl that I was dating in college for like 4 years, we broke up. She started cheating on me with some guy at Planet Fitness. Okay. I'm in a hotel 3 hours away with my boss. I'm colorblind. So I grab blue pants with a black jacket. So I have a mismatched suit. Okay. I'm just a mess. And I couldn't, like, you know, when I say like I couldn't eat, like I was not hungry. I didn't want to do anything after the day. I just wanted to go into my hotel room. My boss, and at this point I was new in the position. He's knocking on my hotel door and he's like, hey, he's like, do you want to go get B-dubs? So dude, I'm literally like in bed, like undressed at this point. So of course he probably hears all this shuffling around when the knock happens. So I'm like, that's embarrassing. We go to B-dubs. He's like, what's wrong? He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, God, nothing, you know, don't really tell him. Next day, I don't have my suit jacket on. He goes, where's your jacket? I go, I grabbed the mismatched color. He's like, well, I mean, so he made this dude maybe wear a mismatched suit, like a hazing thing. So there was that. Oh shit. Where was that going? So then we go, no, damn it. Oh, so we go and we have a meeting. I have a demo. I have a product demo. This is my first product demo with my new boss with me. Okay. Yeah. Somebody's like, from Planet Fitness. Yeah, I know. Okay.
Man,
whatever.
It's Planet Fitness. Fuck that guy.
It's great. I couldn't be happier with Mrs. Birdie. So it all works out. Right. But long story short, I have a mismatched suit on. I'm doing my first product demo on a lift for ceiling lifts. Right. So if you don't know what that is, patients that can't move, you put this piece of material underneath them. It hooks up to the ceiling and you can lift them from the bed to the chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
a Hoyer lift.
It's like a Hoyer lift. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So it's me and it's my boss. And then it's these two ladies that we're meeting with that are like safe patient handling. Well, I'm not going to have the people that I'm meeting with play patient and get into the bed. So my boss has to play patient and they make him take his shoes off. Obviously it's a clean bed. So they're like, don't just take your shoes off. You can play. Yep. So I do my demo. Okay. I'm so distracted and my mind is just exactly on what I need to say for this pitch. I forgot that my boss for like 9-10 minutes is still hoisted up in the lift, sitting in an up back right position. He's slowly spinning back and forth with his socks, his striped socks out. And he's looking at me just like, he's like, not saying anything. So then I like side eye. I'm like, I get distracted. I don't even address it because I'm so nervous. The ladies they're like, why isn't this guy getting his boss out of the Hoyer lift?
That's amazing.
So then the cherry on top, the cherry on top.
I love the visual of him just spinning there. Like, that's awesome.
You know what I mean?
All right.
So the visual or the cherry on top, dude, is so we walk out and I'm like, hey man, like, I'm sorry about that. He goes, no, it's fine. It's fine. He goes, how do you think it went? I go, they're not buying this. Like, that's what I say. So we walk to the parking ramp and we're talking. And at the time I just had a car. So we're kind of like talking like over the car as we get in.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I had set these like binders of clinical studies like that I had they didn't fit in my backpack. So I'd set them on the top of my car. We start driving out of the parking ramp and I hear this like, I look in the back. There are hundreds of papers scattering in the wind on the parking ramp. And my boss goes, what was that? And I go, nothing. I just left it.
Wow.
We're driving. We had about a 3-hour drive home.
Yeah.
Okay. So he starts calling his boss. So he's my manager. Then we have like the area director. Okay. He's taking a phone call with his boss. Well, he's on speakerphone. Okay. So he's not on my audio of my car, but he's on speakerphone. So I can still hear him. And my boss must have told his boss that I was being a little bitch about this breakup. Okay. So I have all this. Now I have to listen to where this guy, my boss's boss, doesn't know he's on speaker.
Wow.
And I have to now hear this. Okay.
Wow.
This is probably 4 days before Christmas. This asshole says, well, it looks like his ex is getting her stocking stuffed by someone else this year.
Oh my God, dude. Oh, wow.
It's just, dude, I went mute. Wow. I went mute. I didn't say anything for another 2 hours. I didn't talk.
I am broken.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to take my seatbelt off and go crash the fuck
I'm gonna go jump off the fucking bridge. Wow. That's just rude. That was I'm hurting from over here. I'm hurting from over here listening to that story.
It was miserable. It was a tough time for your boy here. But wow. It came out better because of it. And like, dude, I think back to that and I'm just like, dude, what a nightmare. What an absolute nightmare. And like that ride along, because it was an overnight, like it lives in infamy. So I can never escape that because that guy, as I've moved up, so is he, and I've stayed on his team. So now everybody hears this story of my first work with him. The heart broke, stocking stuffed, leaving him up there. It's just brutal.
Wow.
So, yeah, I
should have had more drinks before this show. I'll tell you.
Why? Why?
That just gets it. That was good shit. Good shit. Shit. Man.
It's just. Yeah. So, anyways, man, we're coming up on about 2 hours. You running out of gas?
Yeah, I'm probably running out of gas. I mean, I love the show, but yeah, I just I'm still recovering from New York a little bit.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Been a long trip.
Did you get frisked?
I did not get frisked. It was amazing. I'm trying to think if there was any more, stories, but yeah, no, I think I covered the majority of the good stories on that, and it was. But yeah, it was long. It was a long thing. I had to sleep between people on the way there because I was again on that reconnect. So I had to sleep upright between two guys for 5.5 hours, and that was after driving 6 hours. And I was spent the first day, and I think I've been recovering ever since.
You're right. Where did that go? Shoe Girl says, and at least I'm making women's titties feel better, right?
Oh,
out of all that. Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah, there's that.
And it's just what a night. What a night. I'm going to stay up here for about 10 minutes. I'm going to talk to everybody just because the last 2 nights I've had guests on. But dude, thank you for popping up. Always a pleasure. We'll talk. Obviously, we'll be back on our normal schedule next Monday then. So
yeah, sounds great. Thanks, man.
All right. Yep. See ya. Peace. Oh man, my cheeks always hurt after from laughing so much whenever DA comes up. But no, man, I gotta tell you. Wait, what did Aubrey say? Changing the world one pair at a time. Yeah, what a night. So anyways, obviously the last couple nights I've had guests on. Lana was impromptu, DA was traveling, but I want to make sure that I take some time right now. Kind of any questions about the last few days, I'm all yours. Undivided attention for the next 15, 20 minutes, whatever, till whatever we kind of get through some. But like I said, I enjoy just sometimes getting up here, just shooting the shit with you guys. So Sherlock's heading out. He says, night sluts. Yeah. So I have not heard back from Sue since she's been sick. I need to send her a follow-up next week on Tuesday. Custody Queens Off the Clock are coming on the 28th. So we have that. And I have a couple other things that are really exciting that I'm working on. I'm working on a live with. There's people in here that probably know it's another creator. I'm not going to say it because I think it'd be cool to kind of have it be like, the anticipation build up for a surprise, but you guys will love them. We'll see if that can work out. Yeah, those streams are always fun. And to Julia Rose and Not Lamey Jamie, I think they did pop up on the screen, but if I didn't acknowledge those before, thank you both for the super chats. And anybody that sent one last night with Lana, with the shared screen, it's kind of a little bit difficult to see them when they pop up. So thank you to everybody who has felt kind enough to give those. Yeah, I really, really hope it works out with Sue. I've actually been to a psychic 2 or 3 times. All those 2 or 3 times, I've walked out mind blown and just a little bit also just kind of like, how is that even possible? Like, has anybody else had that experience where it's like it hasn't even like played out yet, but you're just like, holy shit, like that when you hear like what they're predicting, it's like that just seems like it's gonna happen. Where's my lady beverage? I can't be making this a habit every night on stream, detective. Yeah, thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Says your live was great. Thank you for the laughs. Yeah, everyone's a big fan of Sue, it looks like. Not Lady Jamie says, I have my own medium. Like in your head? Or do you mean like, what do you mean you have your own medium? True to it connections. That's what you do now. Nice. Chevy metal. Oh man. What's everybody feeling like with the Idaho 4 case? Like I said, that's the case, you know. I'm telling you guys, we're going to feel extremely vindicated about it in the long run. We got to stay patient. We just got to keep chipping away. And it sounds corny, but it's like just, you know, covering one little thing a day. It really continues to help put the pressure on the truth coming out. Also, there are some of you that haven't hit that like button. I haven't said that yet. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you have not. Obviously, if you're in the chat, I believe I have it on subscribers only. But yeah, please hit that like button. I would appreciate it. One's going to get set up with a psychic. Stephen Fillmore says, I'm a forensic psychologist and psychics hate us. I want to believe, but it doesn't work for me. That would be tough. I feel like that would be tough because I do think that a big piece of it is like, it's kind of like manifesting and things like that. Like your mind is very, very powerful. I would rather believe that. I would rather believe and live in a way where I believe that the way that I think about things can affect the outcome versus the other. The other seems a little bit, I don't know. I just feel like you probably have more like positivity and at least in your mind from an enjoyment standpoint of stuff. If you're able to, you know, convince yourself that this is, you know, you have at least a little bit of a chance to influence the outcome by the way you perceive it. Lenny Grasso says, love your show. Always have a few pops. Roll one up and laugh. Love that. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that. Mad Hatter, Truth Matters. Yes. So if you were not in the live with Lana last night, Mad Hatter, Truth Matters says, I think the funniest thing last night was Jeff H. He didn't buy a membership because I don't have memberships, but he subscribed. And I had to interrupt Lana. I'm like, hang on, Lana. Holy shit. Jeff H just subscribed to me. And she had a cowbell. I had a cloud horn. It was epic. He's like, I held my nose when I did it. Yeah. LA Mike says, you know, I'm sure that stuff, going back to what Steven had said, I'm sure that stuff, but I've watched the forensic files where they solved the case. Have you guys seen that dude talk about have you guys seen where this girl who was stabbed and murdered, her heart after she was deceased was transplanted into another young girl, and that young girl started having dreams, nightmares, and it solved the murder. When she described the guy in the nightmares, the heart held the memory in the new body. Have you guys ever heard of that? It is insane. It'll give you goosebumps down to your core. Pop and switch. Thank you so much for the super chat. You rock. Top dog for you. Oh, damn. One of these days, I'm going to get this angle right on the top dog so you see it right away. Yeah. It's just an insane story. Detective Bauer, it's not fake. Come on. Were you investigating that case? Discord Dawn says, I've heard of that happening before. Stephen Fillmore says, I've seen a movie like that somewhere. Miss Maggie says, I heard the same with eye transplants. Ooh. Oh, that just would be so trippy. I can't remember the name of the people, Ray. Maybe somebody in the Hive does. Oh, yeah, CK. If you go down the rabbit hole of consciousness, me and DA actually started talking about that. DA kind of scratched the surface on like literally all of our consciousness. Like we are one. I don't know. That shit does trip me out big time. Jerry's Dancer says, yes, cells have memories. Other stories have solved with transplants. Wow. It's called Heartbeat on Netflix. Thank you, Heidi. Dancing Queen says your dad donated his eyes. 1-1 says, how about the investigation of the young kids who somehow know stuff about a previous life? But between stuff like that, the telepathy tapes, these transplant things, guys, I think to my core that this life is just way more incredible than we're ever going to be taught about, or that we just don't know. Like, you know how we talk about, oh, it's just an instinct. Like we label it an instinct, but is that just because we don't have the scientific tools or whatever we would need to measure that? Like, what is a gut feeling? You know, that's some stuff that I've dove into, and it's like, there's some studies that say like your gut actually has a separate nervous system, which is wild because apparently instincts come from your nervous system, or that's at least how I am interpreting what I was reading. But that's just crazy. I am not an organ donor on my license, and I would encourage people to look into that as to why you maybe, I guess, just look into it. There's some stuff about like people will say if you're a donor on your license, if you get into a bad accident, they'll do less to save your life. I don't know. I've never been in that situation. Obviously, pray to God, nobody ever is, including myself. It's just I've heard that. I've never marked it on my license, at least. Nurshard says, Nurse Ratchet says, in her inherited memory is in the DNA. Reincarnation. Does anybody, type of 1, do you guys believe in reincarnation? Yeah, Philly special. The telepathy tapes are insane. Crowd says that shit creeps me out. Nah, you wouldn't get thrown out for that. Hell no, Lenny. No way. Deja vu, like, is that like a checkpoint in a past life? That's how I think about it sometimes, which is also weird. 1-1 says our soul is so much more than we can measure, imagine. Like, what is the actual soul? We have just awesome people in here. Like, look, we could come up with any topic, and there's so many people that could like comment on it, that they have some sort of experience. Like, no direction. We're just like, let's talk about like consciousness, souls, cells holding memories. This is just epic. Collective consciousness. See, that's what it was. That's kind of like the name for it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Have you guys, I don't know how to explain it good enough. So you know how people talk about like birth charts, right? And they talk about like, you know, I'm going to butcher these names. Like you're an Aries rising and then you're a Taurus, whatever it is. Have you ever heard of it with like, don't they have like a dog star, or don't they have like certain stars or stuff named after stuff? And I was watching this really trippy YouTube video, which again, it was on YouTube, but it was about 2.5 hours. And it started talking about like those stars, they got named that because that's where these people believe that like the souls of animals came from, or like your birth chart, like that's like the stars where they were, like your soul comes down through that in some trippy way. And I'm butchering that, but if there's anybody that could sum that up, and I can't even remember the name of that documentary, but there's a really good documentary on YouTube that talks about that. Oh, did that send a, so April Seeks Justice says, I had a psychic tell me that me and the wild horse I adopted were together in another life. Dude, you ever like stare into like your pet's eyes and it's like, there's no way that you don't know. Like, I don't know. That would be trippy. April Seeks Justice. Did you ever feel like that before the psychic told you? Robin says, I do that a lot when I'm trying to hold on to a dream to see what happens or to influence the outcome. Yeah. No, LA Mike, no. So LA Mike says, I've had girls not go on dates with me because I'm a Gemini. If you could sum that up, I'd appreciate that. Let's give LA Mike a run for his money here. For anybody in the chat, ladies, why would you not go on a date with a Gemini? Anybody? And LA Mike, I'm sure you're about to get some answers here. If anybody could please sum this up and we can help Mike out. Oh, man. You learn something every day. Miss Birdie didn't like that I'm a Gemini moon. I didn't even know I was a Gemini moon. So there's that. Geminis are meant to have split personalities. 1111 says, I was literally born during the autumnal equinox. So yes, I believe all that. Philly says, I'm a Gemini. We're the shit. What would you guess that I am if you don't know? And don't answer this, Mrs. Birdie. And if I've said that, and if you know, don't say anything. LA Mike says, some people have no personality. I'd rather have a few than none. Amen to that. Floral Oak says they also can come off as aloof. Mike, you have dodged a stage 5 clinger. You should have thanked her. Have we played the crazy hot Matrix video in here? No, I'm not a Leo. Nope. Aquarius, no. Oh, April Seeks Justice did answer. Let me see if I can go back up and find it. So about the horse that the psychic had said, somebody that April Seeks Justice has spent in a past life with that. It says, when I was at the adoption place, he chose me. He wouldn't walk away from me. That's why I adopted him. Oh, see, I believe in stuff like that. I really do. That's crazy. UK Karen got it right. Squirrel Nest. I am an Aries. Hun, are you in here? Are you in the chat? What is my birth chart? Could you put it into the the chat if you're listening? Yeah, but what's the whole thing? It's like Taurus, Aries rising, Gemini moon. Maybe True to It or somebody could do like a virtual reading. That'd be cool. What gave it away, Karen? So I'm a Taurus, Sun, Gemini moon, Aries rising. Okay. Your husband sounds like the man. April Seeks Justice. Yeah, if I get Sue on, I absolutely would like to do that. And I hope Tommy Jude is doing all right. I sent him a text the other day. Tommy Jude's not doing too good health wise. I know he had some challenges where he was in the hospital. So That's too bad. Such a good dude. Has anybody heard that the thing about like everyone has a freckle in the same place? Isn't it like is it on your forearm or your bicep or something? Yeah. Rihanna Ray says tourist people don't play about their food. They don't. And Mrs. Birdie is an unbelievable cook. When I tell you that she like the best baking, cooking, everything. But it is funny how there's like meals and then there'll be like one extra thing added to it. I'm not mad about it, but I'm like, oh, that's in there. Like I just gotta say it naturally. I can't even like bite my tongue long enough to like say it. She's like, what? I'm like, no, nothing. She's like, you'll like it. It's good. Philly Special says your son and you share a freckle. That's cool. Oh, please. I eat the veggies, hon. Come on. I'm a grown man. Think I complain about vegetables? It's Brian Todd's birthday. Happy birthday, Brian Todd. We had another one. Somebody who was tuning in, all their sons had birthdays today too. Happy birthday to everybody. How do you think of this stuff, Detective Bowery? Seriously, it's impressive. Detective Bowery says, I heard he loves eggplants. Detective Bowery, I have to have you as a call-in guest. That's what I need. Excuse me, long gone. I have watched that one where Sloan Bella is talking about how it's going to be solved in 10 years. Yes. Desi says, Birdie, I don't know that I could say I'm a conspiracy theorist. I do know I can say I can think on my own, maybe not outside the box always. I have common sense and listen and pay attention. Well, I would say that your description of not being a conspiracy theorist is what kind of leads to everybody being called a conspiracy theorist to an extent, right? From a mainstream media standpoint, anybody that thinks on their own, that listens and pays attention is a conspiracy theorist. Now, what I would consider a conspiracy theorist or theory is like we have reptilian overlords that are shapeshifters that run this world. Okay, that's a conspiracy theory. There's, the hollow earth theory that the moon is a hologram. Things that are real life events. I don't know how you're calling that shit a conspiracy. Like, let's talk. If we're going to, the term of conspiracy theorist, like we need to re-up what the bar is set at for like what's considered a conspiracy theory. Like from a crime standpoint, I would say like the bar is like, is Katy Perry JonBenet Ramsey? That's a conspiracy theory. Okay. Is Alex Jones Bill Hicks? Conspiracy theory. Right? That's what's a conspiracy. Thinking outside the box or, just thinking on your own and that stuff. I don't think that that's considered a conspiracy theory. Yeah. Desi says, I hate that we only have so many characters that we could type because I can't fully say what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get these call-ins. I'm really trying hard on it. I just got to fix that damn echo. So when we move, I'm going to have a different setup in my new studio. So I'll be able to do that. And that's in a couple weeks. So that'll be exciting. Ariana says, or another theory was JonBenet Ramsey the first AI mass deception. Whew. Tell me more about that one, Ariana. What is that meaning? Back in the 90s, they used AI to create somebody that didn't exist for these pageants and stuff. Brian Todd said they bumped into Katy Perry at Coachella. Wow. Nobody's NBA. Thank you for saying this. By the way, tomorrow night I am choosing the roundtable guest. So Nobody's NBA says I'm going to get my mom caught up to speed, and I'm going to try to get her on a roundtable with you, Birdie. She has investigation, litigation, and political experience. She's just new to the case. Yeah, that'd be great. That would absolutely be wonderful. If you guys do want to be on the roundtable, Birdie Bombshells 00@gmail.com. Subject line roundtable. I've had a pretty good amount of people where I'll be able to pick, 3 that will be on it. But that's going to be a good one. We're going to be in Halloween costumes. I have a great costume picked out. I'm excited to wear mine. I hope that anybody who did apply has one in mind as well. Essie says, Birdie, have I ever heard about the Taurus group? I don't think so. What is it? Yeah, not Lamy Jamie going back to the JonBenet Ramsey thing, saying she looked like a robot and they deceived us. No way, they did never. Now this one, I got into this theory because of the Q stuff, which I'm sure most people did, but that JFK Jr. is Vincent Fusca that shows up all the time at the Trump rallies. That is a weird one. I you know what I mean? For having had kind of followed that Q shit, it is weird. It's very weird. ALG says Collins would be so cool. Oh yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to take it to a new level, especially for the late night Friday digs. It's going to be epic. Lenny says, my man, Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington. Wow. Tiffany says the organ donor thing, going back to that, I know in my mom's case, and I've left this comment before, they literally wrote on her body where parts were going and telling us to pull the plug. She wouldn't be waking. Wow. Oof. Yeah, there it is right there. Thank you, Luna. Shout out to my mods. Essie, the Taurus group is a secret society. We watched a documentary called The Conspiracy. I want to be in the Taurus group. If it's a normal secret society, I should preface that. I don't want to do all that weird shit. Oh, thank you, Robin. This is the link to the documentary that Essie mentioned about the Taurus group. Nice. Thank you. You guys rock. Oh, the forbidden Garth Brooks theory again surfaces its head in the Hive yet again. Nobody's NBA says, I think the Garth Brooks one is pretty funny, but it's a good one. Yeah, it is. Chevy Metal, going back to the Chris and Chester Bennington thing, wasn't Chris going to expose some child trafficking and Chester, the son of John Podesta? I've heard that too. I think Avicii also had that happen to him. And if you guys have ever heard of Avicii, or even if you haven't, if you weren't a fan of the DJ Avicii, you guys should watch I'm Tim. I have no problem admitting this, dude. Me and Miss Birdie were like just watery eyed. It is one of the best documentaries about a dude's life I've ever watched. Now I was a fan of Avicii, but I not that big of, not a hardcore fan. You know what I mean? I would just listen to his music. I didn't ever go. I saw him one time, but I mean, it's a crazy documentary. So much footage, and it's just such a good story. Yes. Yeah. It's an unbelievable Netflix watch. I think it was Netflix. Isaac Cappy. That's right, Amanda B. Yeah, that's what Jane K says. They murdered Avicii because he was going to expose the child trafficking. Lisa Stewart said, Garth Brooks is from here. He started in Stillwater on the college strip. He forgot where he came from. Went woke. He's one of them. We are so disappointed. Oh, man. Well, Hive, I hope you all have a great rest of your night. Thank you all for tuning in. I will be back in the Hive tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central, as I am every weeknight. Friday night, late night dig again. Sunday is the roundtable. So please, 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 even if you have applied in the past, don't hesitate to apply again. A couple bullet points as to what you'd want to talk about, and then subject line roundtable. Have a phenomenal night's rest and sleep. I will see you tomorrow. Cheers, everyone.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky.